Well, guys, the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct is just a few days away, and I know everybody is really excited for this because this is probably going to be one of the biggest Nintendo presentations, probably since the original Nintendo Switch had one in 2017 in January, where they unveiled so much, and there's a lot to talk about, so many games and topics and things to discuss and predict, but it'd be a little bit boring if I just kind of sat in a video alone and kind of talked about everything myself, so I've invited here a lot of amazing people to kind of talk about all of this, and I think it should be a lot of fun. So let me introduce to you guys who we have here. We've got the Pokemon extraordinaire who's been here a ton of times in my videos. We've got Ruffled Rowlet himself.
Hello.
We've got the person who probably knows the most useless Smash Bros. Facts out of anybody here. We've got P Jiggles.
Heyo.
We've got the number one Slowpoke fan in the world, Master Luke.
Yo, what's up?
And we've got the number one Twilight Princess fan, Snug Boy.
Twilight Princess, let's go.
And we've also got somebody who you should definitely keep in touch with if you want to get your Nintendo Switch day one, the master of pre-orders and getting everybody what they need when they need to. We've got Jake Randall here. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right. I really appreciate all you guys for coming here. I know it's like everybody's in different countries. It's like different times for all of you. It's like 6 in the evening for me right now. I know for you guys.
11.
Yeah, 11 at night. And it's like bright and early for Snug in the morning right now.
It's 5:20 a.m., but you know what? I'll never miss an opportunity to be.
Look at the difference in outside light between me and Snug.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean,
now.
I like turned off the blinds and everything, so it's like it's darker here. But yeah, I mean, this Nintendo presentation, I think we can all say we're all very looking forward to it. It's going to be a very exciting presentation. I think it's probably going to be, I genuinely think it's going to be probably the biggest one since like that original 2017 like in-person presentation. And so, I mean, if we just sit here and kind of talk about like, oh, I think this game is going to be shown or this, like we'll be here for 10 hours. So instead, I've just got kind of like an outline here of notes, and then we can kind of just look through that, and then it should be easier to kind of discuss everything. So I'll kind of just say a topic, give my thoughts on it, and then we can go around. Everybody can share how they feel. So I figured the games are probably going to be like the most exciting parts. We'll save that for like the second half of the video, but the first half we'll talk about just kind of general stuff about the system and the presentation itself. So the first thing is, as of right now, Nintendo has not officially told us how long this presentation is going to be. Like, we don't know how long it could be. So I figured we can all kind of share, how long are you guys expecting this Direct to be? Because I personally don't think that this is going to be anything they're just going to wrap up in like a quick 30-40 minute presentation. It'll probably be a little bit longer, so I'm going to say around an hour personally. But what about you guys?
Is that how long the last one was? The Switch one, was that also an hour?
The in-person one I think was like almost an hour and a half, honestly, I think.
Oh dang.
Was it really?
Was
But
that
I feel like
just because it was a live show?
Yeah, that's what I think is, because like I feel like because this is in person, not in person, and like just like a standard Direct, they might kind of streamline it more, so it might be shorter.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to make much of it. I don't think just because it's a Switch 2 that it's going to... Because like you said, the Switch 1, that was like the post thing they do. You know what I mean? Like they used to do those like live streams. Like after they do like a big announcement, they would just like talk more about the subject. They used to do that for Pokemon too, like back but during like the E3 days, when they used to do like the E3 Nintendo Directs, and then it would like add, like an extra thing. But for the actual reveal itself, or for this like Direct, I mean, how much time do they really need to go through everything? I don't think more than like 20-30 minutes maximum.
Well, they got to go over hardware and software, right? So
yeah, but I mean, even in software, like if you really like think about it, I don't think they're gonna announce that many games realistically, like speaking. And I feel like that's gonna be a little bit further down the line.
That's
like
possible,
like if it's gonna be real, you know? Like there's definitely gonna be like, and also usually they will do like individual stuff. Like they might just show a game for like what 10 20 seconds and then move on, and like there's like, hey, if you want to know more about like, I don't know, Xenoblade 5 or some shit, like they'll just do a whole separate like Direct for that. Yeah.
I kind of disagree, but I could see it going either way. But like the thing is, if they do what you just suggested with the games, I don't think it builds up enough hype. I think they need to show stuff that will make like the skeptical people of like the Switch isn't powerful enough, the Switch 2 won't be powerful enough. I think they need to show some stuff to kind of reset that mindset for like the doubters out there. Like that would be a great presentation for just like hardcore Nintendo fans, but obviously they want everyone to be buying the Switch 2. So I think they kind of have to show more stuff than just that. And like, I feel like the quick presentation was the Switch 2 like reveal. Like that was so lackluster. I don't think they could do something like that again, especially if pre-orders drop after the presentation, whether it's right after or later in the week. I think, obviously we need to get all the hardware specs, all of that stuff. And we need to see what the system can do. But what's going to get people to buy it is like how fun it looks. Like, you know what I mean? Like the magic of games that you can only play on the Switch 2. And I think they need to put a little bit more time and effort into that. But I don't know. That's my opinion.
I don't think it's going to be long at all. I mean, how much time in the first Switch presentation was dedicated to just the Switch? And also the in-person one was in person. And obviously, because it's in person, it's going to take a lot longer. There's a guy on stage. It's not edited. It's not cut up.
Yeah.
And personally, they also had Breath of the Wild to like showcase, which was a huge game at the moment. They don't have that kind of game at the moment. They could announce
we know
something.
of.
Yeah, they could announce something big, right? But there's nothing like people are expecting anything. And 3D Zelda's absolutely not happening. That was their big thing last time, which took up that was the biggest part aside from the Switch last time. They don't have anything big, so I really don't think it's going to be very long. I think they're going to just focus on the Switch 2 itself. It could be very short. It could even be 10 minutes. I don't know. I really am not expecting
that would be insane.
I don't want to skip ahead, but you don't think Metroid Prime 4 is big?
Yeah, they could do that, but how much time is one game going to be? And I also don't think that if they're going to show games that they're going to dedicate a lot of time to it. If they're going to show Metroid Prime 4, I don't think it's going to be like a 5-minute showcase of the game. Because in the original,
the Switch presentation, you guys remember, they showed Splatoon 2, and then we had the developer come on stage, he's like, Splatoon 2, and he did the thing. So we're not going to have all of that because it'll all just be a video in a direct, but yeah.
Because it's not in person this time. There's not going to be they could still have devs show up in the recording studio and talk about their games, like the Metroid Prime developer, Splatoon 4 developer. I don't know what they're going to show, but I really don't think there's going to be a lot of focus on games.
Yeah, I could see some of that being put after the actual direct, mostly focused on the big hardware stuff, and then afterwards drop videos on each individual title. Like, oh, hey, here's more than just a sizzle reel, but then if you want to know more, we have a 3-minute video on this and a 3-minute video, and then that's just going to be posted to their page, and then at the end of the presentation, be like, hey, if you'd like to see more, go here.
Well, the thing with that is they're going to have so many eyes on this direct. So many people are going to be watching.
I agree.
So I think it's
this might be one of the most watched directs
on these games if they don't put them out individually. They should do both, I guess.
They should, but I also don't want anything to overshadow the Switch 2. You know what I mean? If they're gonna show the craziest game ever, they're not gonna do that because they want people to know and talk about the Switch 2. If they reveal Minecraft 2 for some reason, it's not happening.
I think they've got a trifecta of things they've got to hit with this, right? They've got to show off, hey, this is a Switch. It's different from the Switch 1. They're going to do that with the mouse. We're going to finally hit the mouse pointer, I think. I think they will do a quick sizzle or at least a brief look at some games not in much detail, and that's I think where we'll see stuff like Metroid Prime 4. And then there's going to be the big boy reveal, which last time was Breath of the Wild. My prediction, it'll be a 3D Mario, but it could even be an Animal Crossing. I think those are the three things, hardware, there's new games that you can't get on the Switch when they're coming, and here's the big one that'll make you want to get the system.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 4 has got to use the mouse, right? It's an FPS.
That's
cool.
a good idea. Didn't think of that.
All right, so so we're all in agreement that it's probably not going to be as long as the original presentation. It's going to be shorter.
I don't think so.
Okay.
And I think that it's also changed because that original one dropped in January, right? So you still had the full year versus this.
Yeah.
We're already a third. Well, yeah, I guess a third done with the year. So they're only really filling from. What are we thinking this is dropping?
Well, that's a good segue because I was going to say the next thing is everyone's release date predictions. When do we think this is coming out?
It's going to be something between then and the end of the year, right? So if it does drop in May, which is my prediction, then we're going to have only a handful of months versus the whole year to make games for. So to me, they're not going to show a ton of games because they're only going to be filling eight months or so.
Yeah, the way I went by it is when the Switch presentation happened in January, we waited 2 months and then it came out in March. So if we go by the same logic, it should come out in June. That's my prediction. I think early June, first or second week.
I feel like June's the lucky month.
I have no idea. Absolutely before Christmas, because Duh,
Yeah,
makes sense.
but like I don't see them like having this direct and being like, all right, now you're gonna wait till November for this to come out. Like,
I mean, they made us wait 2 months for the direct.
Yeah.
I think May is like the most like common prediction right now. But like every time we've predicted anything from Nintendo regarding the Switch 2, it's always happened way after when everyone thinks it's going to happen. And so I think it could happen in June. Like everyone's thinking mid-May. I could see it happening.
No, June is more logical. Way more logical.
Thinking start of summer, so that would.
Yeah, I've seen people say too that usually they avoid June because of E3, but E3 is kind of gone now, so you know June's
dead. What are you talking about?
He's gone.
E3 is dead.
Maybe I just want May because there's no games right now. So I'm like, the sooner the better. There's nothing other than Metroid for me to look forward to.
Like, are you gonna have parents buy their console when they're still in school, a new console for their kid, or like is a great end of like the school year is over?
Fair point.
Yeah, everybody gets out of school around like June, summer vacation. I guess if you have a new system.
I mean, is this going to be marketed towards kids again though, or is it going to be?
It's
Switch to like a more adult.
I mean, to be fair, the Switch one already kind of proved that you can sort of drop a console, like literally anytime, and it can still do well.
Like, I don't quite think random, wasn't it?
Like that was in March, right? So like I don't think it really matters when they drop it, realistically speaking, because people that are gonna buy it day one are gonna buy it day one no matter what. Like doesn't matter if it's June, December, November. It doesn't make a difference.
I think that the dropping in March was actually a bad decision. Like I don't think they'll ever do March again because I don't know if you remember when that happened, but the NES Classic was selling more and harder to get than the Switch 1 for the first month. And actually, like,
oh yeah, I remember that came out.
Sold more copies of the game than Switch systems sold.
I remember that. Yeah.
It was weird.
I don't recall that because I don't think there was an issue for that in Europe. Especially like we didn't have that issue. I don't think, at least as far as I remember. I don't think we
sold 150 million units.
Very different though. It was coming off the Wii U, so it was a totally different scenario.
I think that's why they did it too. They wanted to get it out as soon as possible because they were like struggling from the Wii U. 3DS was kind of at the end of its life, you know.
Maybe.
Okay, but just push it out.
Okay, so
start of summer. So yeah, June-ish.
All right. So I think with that, then we can move on to potential SKUs, I guess, or product configurations, because usually Nintendo likes to have two versions of a system when it comes out. Now, to the extent that it goes is different because with the Switch, we had two versions that came out, but the only difference was just one was neon red and neon blue Joy-Cons. The other one was all gray. And that was the only difference. But if you go back to like the Wii U, you had this white one that came out with a laughable 8 gigs of internal memory. And then you got the deluxe one that came with 32 gigs of memory. Do we think that there's going to be like two versions or different colors for the Switch 2?
I don't think they'll do different specs. But I do think there will be like two colors at least. I made
that's what I think, yeah.
Back, but I don't think
that's how I feel. I don't think there's going to be a power difference or like one gets an OLED screen or something like that. But it might be like one of them is white, one of them is black. Like we saw the black one in the trailer.
Yeah, they're gonna drop the OLED screen later. That's what they do.
Oh, for sure,
yeah. Their light, they'll drop their OLED.
Yeah,
for sure.
Do you think this time they'll go with like a cartridge-less version?
We already saw the
like either for the light or something.
Oh, you mean like a
one that is digital?
Oh, like another SKU that's all digital? I mean, they could. I mean, we did see all digital PlayStations and Xboxes now.
That's my only because the people that buy this first version that has the cartridge might buy their games on cartridge, and then they'll be less likely to buy a second Switch Lite if they can't play their cartridge games that they've bought over the first 2 years of the Switch 2 on their Switch Lite. Because the big thing with the sales of the Switch Lite is trying to sell it to people that already have a Switch.
Switch has a huge lineup, so making
what you're saying is
can't play it doesn't seem smart.
If they were gonna do a digital, they'd have to drop it immediately, like with.
Yeah.
They can't wait to drop.
I mean, there was also rumors that there might be like a Mario Kart Special Edition. Do you guys believe that?
Probably
just be a pack-in.
I mean, $70 price tag, absolutely.
You mean like a Switch? That's
like a special edition, like
a special edition Switch 2 for Mario Kart.
Not at launch. I don't think so at launch.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's surprising because we didn't have anything like that at launch ever.
Console edition ever?
Yeah. I don't think the Switch had that because they really wanted.
There was no Breath of the Wild Switch either, like a special edition or anything.
Yeah, but
I don't know. It's been a rumor going around.
They drop like the bare bones base thing only, and then they'll drop special editions throughout the life cycle to boost sales, get people to buy, you know, a second one, or people that were on the fence when it came out. They use that as a tactic to be like, okay, now's the time I'm going to jump in.
Now there's a Mario Kart version. Now you gotta buy it.
All right, so then, I mean, it's a little hard for this one because we're all in different countries, but pricing, where does everybody's kind of guess? I mean, I guess we could use US dollars, but I don't know, like the exact conversions and stuff for some of you guys.
What the price of the normal Switch
But my prediction, at least for US, I think it's going to be $399.99.
€350.
I think $400 for US. I think that's how much it's going to be. The one thing I know is like Nintendo likes to make profits on their like consoles themselves. They like to make profit off their systems. Usually like PlayStation and Xbox, they kind of sell their systems at a little loss because they expect you to just buy games and they'll make their money back that way. Nintendo likes making profit day one right away from their systems. And so I feel like 400 would be the most fair price. If they really want to get greedy, they could push it to 450. But I feel like anything past 450, they're kind of out of their mind if it's anything higher than that.
I was thinking 400 to 350 or 400. I'm thinking that'll be the range.
Yeah, because the Euro conversions are kind of weird.
The regular Switch is 300 and the OLED's 350.
Yeah. Europe in Switch, the Switch 1 was 330 in Europe, which is 30 more than dollars. So I'm thinking
dude, they rip off Europeans.
Euros.
I did not know, but they scam Europeans out of like how much it costs. Because I found out from somebody that like the price of our Switch Lite is like the price of like your base like original Switch or something like that.
I literally bought my Switch in the US because it's more expensive.
Yeah, or like because it's like ridiculously. Or no, it's the other way around. Europe, like the Switch Lite in Europe is the same price as the base Switch here.
I didn't know that. Wow.
So yeah, it's crazy. Like
all I know is it's more expensive over here.
It's more expensive in Europe. Yeah, like it's not like fair conversion rates, which is crazy.
In general, PS5 games are $10 more expensive in Europe for no reason. It's stupid.
Yeah. Unless you go to Dreamland. Dreamland's cheaper. I don't know if you have it in the Netherlands, but we have it in Belgium. So we'd go there, dude. Like it's $10 cheaper. No, but I have one theory on the pricing. And it goes off of the fact that we know that the Switch 2, based on like the leaks we've seen, that is going to be like somewhat faster and like performance-wise stronger than a Steam Deck. And an LCD screen Steam Deck, like a base version Steam Deck that you can get, goes for like €420, right? That's like the starting price for like a brand new LCD, like non-OLED.
I think that's $380 US.
So yeah, so like here.
So I feel like that would be a reasonable.
So I feel like that sounds like that would be a reasonable price because like keep in mind the Steam Deck is now like several years old, right? It's like kind of outdated hardware, quote unquote, for like handhelds. The Switch is going to be better than that. So I'm going to assume they would charge around that range. If they charge more than that, it would be ridiculous because at that point just get a Switch, just get a Steam Deck and
How much is it in Australia, Snug? How much is the Switch?
On release, it was 469 AUD,
wow.
which is equivalent pretty much to 400 USD. So 350.
Wait, 400 USD or 300?
No, wait, whatever it was for you guys at releases, it was pretty much equivalent.
300, yeah.
Yeah, in terms of AUD, I wouldn't be surprised if it shot up to about 550, 570 here, which is I think about 400 for you guys. I do think it's gonna be more expensive than the Switch 1. But again, like you said,
how much is the OLED for you?
Let me just check for you really quick. I think
because I do think this will be a little bit more expensive than the OLED, but I guess we can also kind of go into the next topic is like after the Switch 2 comes out, what do you think they're gonna do with the current lineup of Switches? Because like, do you think they're eventually gonna start like phasing out one of the models, like the OLED or like the red box standard Switch, and try to just have like a streamlined lineup? Because I think having 4 different models of Switch on the market would be a little too saturated. Maybe
already started doing that. Like,
they might have.
Last year, they started doing the Animal Crossing Switch Lights, like in a bundle, like for super cheap. I forget exactly what it was, but it was the ones that were already in the colors that they make, like the coral pink and the green. So I think it was just a way to make those more attractive and try to get rid of a lot of inventory. And I feel like the OLED has kind of replaced the regular Switch as like the default definitive model that most people buy now when they go to get one.
Yeah.
So I feel like they've been doing that like kind of quietly in the background. So eventually, I mean, we saw this with the 3DS at the end of its life cycle during the Switch, where they started putting it on their website for refurbished for cheap all the time. And I'm sure we'll get to that point at some point in the next like 2 years.
What's funny is
if Switch 2 is going to be backwards compatible, they're going to try and maybe pushing Switch 2 as much as possible.
Yeah, that's a big
thing. I just want to
thing.
ask a quick question, if it's okay. Do you think Switch 2 will be OLED screen? And if not, like, do you think that's going to impact, parents or whatever buying a Switch 1 with an OLED versus the new Switch 2?
Well, this one I'm pretty sure is already kind of rumored to not be OLED. It's gonna like be LCD, but I'm pretty sure they'll probably have like a revision like a couple years later, like 2029. They'll probably be like the Switch 2 OLED model or something.
4 years later.
I mean that's how long it took for the Switch, because it was 2021. 2021 we got the OLED. It came out in 2017.
I don't know if I can wait that long for an OLED, man.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's kind of like a downgrade, but apparently the LCD tech is supposed to be better than like the day one Switches, so it shouldn't look horrible. Hopefully.
Do you think we get a Switch 2 Lite or an OLED first?
Light probably.
Probably Lite, right?
I think the Lite came out first, didn't it?
Yeah, the Lite came out first normally too for the current Switch.
And that shit was banging popular. That was
super
incredible.
Popular. Most people I know that have a Switch have a Lite.
Yeah, same.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, because I think. Do you think they're gonna do? How long do you think it'll be till they do a price drop after the Switch comes out or Switch 2 comes out? Do you think they're gonna do like one for the original Switch, make it cheaper?
No.
Because that's the craziest thing is Nintendo.
They do not like lowering their price.
Bro, Nintendo has not done a single like cent of a price drop for this entire system, and it's been out for 8 years. That's kind of insane. Like,
Nintendo doesn't do price drops, so I'm not thinking that.
Why not? If they're trying to get rid of
price drop it is when they sell the refurbished systems, the same way they did with the 3DS.
I could see that. Because I know originally
honestly,
like
companies would rather burn their actual like product than like lower the price on it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I remember after the Switch came out, they started selling new Nintendo 3DSs for $100 a pop, which was crazy because that was a great value. Yeah, like you could get a Black Friday deal for $99. You could get a whole 3DS XL or like a new Nintendo 3DS. That was crazy.
Like 5 of them when they started doing that.
Like it was a great deal. Yeah.
They don't do that over here, dude.
Yeah, people bought that as a lot of like stocking stuffers back in the day. I remember that because that's how my brother got one. But I feel like maybe they might try to do that and phasing it out and stuff so that they could have like 3 kind of different price points maybe, and like it'll be like if you want the cheapest possible one, you got the Switch Lite for like 200, then you've got the standard Switch for like 300, and then you've got the Switch 2 for 400. Then it's like, you can pick which one you want.
Unless the Switch 2 gets a lot of games that are exclusive to it that the Switch 1 can't run, I don't think they'll sell the Switch 1 at cheaper. Because otherwise, if they make a game that looks really enticing to people to buy a console for, then they can just buy the Switch 1 instead of the 2 because it's backwards compatible. Or frontwards compatible in this case, I guess. So unless the Switch 2 gets a lot of exclusive, I don't think they'll do a price cut on the Switch 1. Or like a refurbished version or whatever.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess the next thing I've got here, this is a thing that Nintendo never talks about, but I just want to get your guys' thoughts. So Nintendo is not really the type of company to ever talk about like specs in terms of like their presentations. Do you think that they're going to say anything about like, oh, this thing has upscaling or 12 gigs of RAM? I don't think so. I don't think they'll say anything like that.
I think they might briefly touch on like upscaling, but in a very vague way where they're like, using new upscaling tech, but like they.
You think they're gonna like Nintendo-fy it, like how Apple like creates their own words, like like the magic Nintendo display or something like that,
Here is new frame rate.
Yeah,
or something like the power of AI,
with turbo processing.
We have normal mode and super mode for your Switch 2.
Because that's the thing is like we're kind of in like a new era of Nintendo in the sense of like this is so different in terms of like how they're like revealing stuff right now, like the way that they even reveal this system, just shadow dropping it and stuff. And I don't know, I feel like it's possible maybe they might take a different direction because we already see with the rumors about like how this is looking pretty much like significantly more powerful than the current Switch that we have. And Nintendo has never been like the type of company to be like, oh, we're gonna make this way more powerful than the last system. Like the Wii was like a GameCube just with motion controls, and then the Wii U was just a Wii but in HD and stuff. So it's kind of surprising because this is actually looking like apparently the Switch 2 is going to be like a pretty almost night and day type of difference coming from the original one, which is kind of crazy.
I legit don't think they'll talk about specs, but they could put like a comparison of a game on the Switch 1 and the Switch 2, because I don't know if you heard, but Xenoblade X, the recent release, had a hidden 60 FPS mode.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that next.
They could show Xenoblade X on the Switch 1 and on the 2 to show the doubled frame rate. I think that's like the extent of spec talk they'll do. They're not going to go, this has this many.
Yeah, or I feel like I've heard somebody say that
I
like
think they might have to though. I think they might in some way. I think they might. If you think about it, because like there's think about it. There's way more competition in like the handheld space now compared to what there was before, right?
That's true.
And it's like it's not about like talking about specs because as if like Bowser Jr. 98 on YouTube, as if he's gonna care about like what the specs are. He's gonna buy it no matter what just to play Mario, right? He doesn't care. But there are people like myself who usually I wouldn't be buying a Nintendo console if it wasn't for Pokemon. But there are people out there who just do not care for Nintendo games, but they are willing to buy a handheld console if it is like powerful enough to run other things besides Nintendo stuff, right? So like I feel like because there is so many more consoles in the market, you have the ROG Ally, you have this the Steam Deck, you have Lenovo Legion Go, MSI Claw, you have so many more of these handheld consoles out there now that are way stronger than the original Switch, and some of them probably even stronger than what the Switch 2 will be when it comes out. So I feel like they have to almost, not just for the sake of like the consumer, but also to sort of like announce to other companies and potential developers, like even the ones that they haven't talked to already and privately, because obviously a lot of companies already have their hands on this thing and have already been adjusting their games and preparing games for it. But like it's sort of an announcement of, hey, our console isn't shit anymore. Please put your games, please put all your, all the third-party games on it, because that's the thing with the Switch. It's just not powerful enough on its own, like the original version, to run anything besides like the bare minimum of games, right? And everything looks generally way more shit than on other like handhelds
that you just mentioned, plus the PlayStation Portal, all of them combined have sold like 6 to 8 million units, which is like a regular quarter for the Switch 1. Even now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
It's
But
like,
that again,
crazy.
That's Nintendo competing.
That way, that there's so
Nintendo still dominates the handheld market for sure.
That makes me think, Spec Talk is really for the hardcore gamers, and the Direct is going to be watched by like everyone, not including hardcore. So
not
all
like
age groups.
Explanations, right? Just like
like
the bare minimum.
I saw somebody say that they might have like a special like Nvidia person or something that they might tell the info to, and they could have like their own article come out after the Direct, and we can learn more that way.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I could see that happening, and not like waste time on it in the Direct itself.
Exactly. I don't think they could just not mention it at all, and then for the people that want to hear it, they can post on it online.
That's
like
better.
Updates are. That's what
even when they were trying to have like the best hardware, like with the GameCube, they still didn't really talk about that. I mean, that's obviously like a totally different time. But Nintendo focuses more on like the magic, and like the fun that you could.
They show you the games,
playing the console. I think that you made a really good point when you said showing like performance improving from Switch 1 games on the Switch 2. Like there was a lot of talk about the Breath of the Wild remaster, and if Nintendo's like, hey, all those games that you have, whether you bought them digitally on NSO or you have them physically, you can play them on the upgraded version for free. Like that would be huge. That would be such a big incentive for people to get a Switch 2.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good topic to go into, because that's like the next bullet point that I have here, which is we know the system is backwards compatible. You're going to be able to play your Switch 1 games on it, but a big topic that people have talked about is would they do something where you can put in a Switch 1 game that doesn't run the best, and maybe they'll have some type of patch that comes out for it or an update, and then it's going to enable better frame rates and resolutions. Xenoblade games is one that everybody talks about, but even some of the other ones like the Link's Awakening remake that came out apparently has frame rate drops, and I heard even Echoes of Wisdom did. But Age of Calamity is like the one that gets shitted on the most because it's like a slideshow all the time. So do you think we think that Nintendo is going to think about this type of stuff and have this, or do you think, because I've heard other people say that Nintendo might just genuinely not care at all. They'll be like, you can play the games, but they might see it as a waste to spend money on like making patches, and instead of that they could just spend their efforts to make a better like Switch 2 game or something instead. So are we expecting any type of enhancements to come out?
Right, I think Nintendo would probably like nudge developers and be like, hey, this is an option, but like if you want, we're not going to force you. It would be nice, but that's obviously for any development team, both Nintendo and external, that's time they have to take away from their current project for something that doesn't really reap them any monetary benefit except for some cred. So it would be nice as a player.
I feel like that
it could be paid though. That is the thing. You said like it doesn't reap them any benefits, but like we've seen sometimes on PlayStation, they'll be like, if you want the PS5 upgrade, you got to pay $10. Do you think Nintendo could do something like that for certain games? Maybe.
I think they could.
Subscriptions.
I could see it happening. Maybe. I don't know.
You get the benefit if you have NSO. Or have you expansion?
Oh, they tied to the online. Bro, another. If you're an expansion pack member, you get the upgraded version.
Because you would need internet to play offline games.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, because they'd have to like validate it or whatever, or maybe it'll just be like it downloads it to your game once if you just connect it online. Please.
If you don't play any of the NSO emulators for a while, you start it up for the first time in a while, it also has to like validate your subscription, which is stupid as hell. So
that's crazy.
That would be terrible if it was tied to NSO. So I don't think they'll do that.
Hopefully not. Yeah.
I do think there's a lot of merit though in making old games run better on the Switch One, because if there's one thing even casuals know sucks about the Switch, is that it's bad at running games or like high-end games. So getting the credit out that, hey, The Witcher 3 runs way better on Switch 2 than 1 and stuff like that. Scarlet and Violet is a huge one, right? If they show the windmill running at 6 FPS instead of 3, that's huge.
You know what would be the filthiest move Nintendo could possibly do? Is announce Pokemon Gen 1 through 3 collection, Switch 2 exclusive. Doesn't work on Switch 1.
Oh, that would be messed up, dude.
And it runs like
that could definitely happen.
Ideas.
But
no,
yeah,
I mean, they might literally do that, but like next year, next year they literally will probably do that.
Yeah, next year is the Pokemon anniversary, so I feel like all that type of stuff will probably be if it happens next year. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. That's the thing. I feel like a lot of us would be happy. Like everybody would want Switch games, like old ones, to get upgrades and have, because I'd honestly revisit a lot of old games that I probably haven't played in a while if I found out, oh, this one is now playable in 60 FPS, or it doesn't look like it's a fuzzy 540p game on my TV anymore.
You know what it is? They don't do it out of purely to create scarcity, like intentionally. It's an intentional thing to create like this feeling of like you always need to get whatever the next thing they're putting out is, because you know you're not going to be able to play the old thing because they're never going to give you the old thing. Like everybody always says that, like, oh, why does Nintendo just not re-release this game? Everybody would buy it. Sure, but also by forcing you to buy whatever their next thing is instead, they're keeping you just constantly like, begging and asking for nostalgia. And then eventually, maybe they'll give you what you actually want after a long time. They'll drag it out if they have to, like 30 years before they give you like what you're actually asking for, because it's easier that way. You create scarcity. You make people like feel like this feeling of like missing out on, if I don't get it now, shit, man, Nintendo might remove it tomorrow. And then, maybe if I don't get the game now, I'll never have it. Because like even like Pokemon games now, right? Like you can barely find really like even holy shit, even like 3DS games. Like I haven't seen a single 3DS game in forever now, right? Ever since like the Switch came out, it's just disappeared, and they always do that. And we're not going to see another like remake of, I don't know, Orax or something. That's not going to happen for like 30,
one of my friends recently he just texted me. He bought a Pokemon, I think it was Black 2 at the store, and he was telling me, he's like, dude, guess how much it was? I was like, how much? He's like, $120. I was like, oh my god, dude, that's just how it is right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it was like 200 for that.
I mean, he just got the cartridge. I'm assuming if you have the box and everything.
The cartridge, only the cartridge.
Only the cartridge, 120, dude.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Japanese version is way cheaper.
Yeah.
Heart Gold is like 300, isn't it?
Yeah, Heart Gold and Soul Silver are like some of the rarest Pokemon games right now.
They have the Pokewalker too, because they never sold it without the Pokewalker.
Yeah, I still have my Pokewalker, but yeah, all of that.
I got 2 copies of Heart Gold and I don't have a single Pokewalker. What the hell?
Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us would be very happy if old games got updates. I'd honestly revisit a lot of games that I just kind of avoided for like, even I think there's people that like, there's still a market of people that just avoided buying certain games. Like they heard like, oh, Scarlet and Violet looks like this, I'm not getting that shit, dude. But now if they get like a better update, yeah, you didn't get it because of that reason. Yeah. So like if they have that come out and then there's like it runs better, like there's gonna be certain people that might just buy that now and they'll be able to make more money that way too. So I feel like there's definitely a market out there. I really hope that they do take advantage of it, but we never really know how Nintendo thinks,
Scarlet and Violet is... Oh, you go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say... my bad. I was gonna quickly get my point across. No, this is exactly like though why I was bringing up the other like quote unquote competition, and obviously like they haven't sold nearly like as close to even of the sales of whatchamacallit, of the Switch, but like the reason I even brought them up is because not because they're just massive competition or anything, but because people that get those consoles Nintendo would prefer it if they got a Switch instead. But purely for a person like that, you wouldn't get it because of like the lack of performance. Like, why would I play Witcher 3 on a Switch 1, right? Like, why would I play it on there with like 30 FPS? It looks dog shit. Why would I play it on there as opposed to on a handheld console that will actually run it on 60 frames or whatever amount, right? Like, it's like, I don't know, just randomly bringing it up, but I was just thinking about
you
it.
can still do it. Like Hogwarts Legacy sold crazy for Switch.
Yeah. Did it?
And that was pretty recent.
I didn't even fucking know it came out on the Switch, to be honest.
Yeah.
I heard that too.
That's very How did it perform though? How was the performance?
Oh, it was awful. It was almost like a different game. Like, they had to have load-in screens when the original game was seamless.
Oh wow.
So it felt completely different, and yet it still sold like crazy.
That's wild. I played on the Xbox. I don't know. It's weird.
Thinking about that, it would be huge if they showed some big third-party game running well on the Switch.
Oh, Halo.
Brand
Halo
on
Xbox Game Pass. Yeah. Xbox Game Pass. I think that's like a rumored thing because Phil Spencer, I think, has been saying like he really wants to put the Xbox Game Pass on the Switch.
I mean, really Xbox is all about like how everything is an Xbox now, and they want to try to bring all their games to everything. So, I think we could see some Microsoft games for sure.
No, they wouldn't want it, but it would be so sick.
Yeah,
it would be sick.
All right.
Oh,
you're good. You're good. You can talk.
No, I was gonna say in that vein, Remake and Rebirth also, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's been rumored for a long time to be coming to Switch. Now they said the rumors were like Remake immediately, Rebirth down the line, so they can they can keep working on it so they can get it running on Switch too. But I personally believe those rumors. How old is Remake at this point?
There's a lot of games that are leaked. Like apparently, like Tekken 8 is going to be on it, and apparently Microsoft Flight Simulator, Halo Master Chief Collection. A lot of stuff has been.
That'd be sick.
I want the Persona 3 remake on that thing. That's recent. I hear nobody talk about that.
Oh yeah, that's also rumored too. The Persona 3 Reload, because that skipped out on Switch, and also the other Atlas game. What was it? The Metaphor.
Yeah, Refantasio.
Yeah, that one's gonna come out on Switch too. Also, that didn't come out on Switch either. So yeah.
I hope.
I think those could have been on Switch 1, to be honest, but Switch.
Oh, they definitely could have. If they got Persona 5 on Switch, bro, how can they not get Persona 3 Reload? It's not like it's
basically like Persona 5 in a different setting.
Yeah, pretty much. But what I was pretty much saying is that they just need to show a third-party game running really well on the Switch 2, because third-party games is where like the dog shit is at the Switch 1 when it comes to how it runs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, well, the next thing I've got here is a topic that they mentioned briefly, but I don't know how much you guys think they're actually going to talk about this, and that's like the process of transferring your stuff from Switch 1 to Switch 2. Do you think they'll like go over that a little bit at least, and just like say like, all your stuff carries over, and like how it like works and stuff? They'll go over it for a little bit.
That'd be a press release afterwards.
I can see that, yeah.
Release, like, no, because there's going to be a lot of people that just buy the Switch 2 like starting there, and so they don't have anything to transfer over, right? So it's like, if you're an older fan and you're going and you need it, then
I think they'll show it for like 10 seconds. They'll be like, they'll show like easily transfer this to this, and then
not like spend a lot of time on it or anything.
No.
Yeah.
It might even just be
go to our website and find out more.
Yeah,
exactly. They will mention
them away
because the Switch 1 sold crazy well. So obviously a lot of the install base of the Switch 2, especially at launch, most certainly at launch, is going to be people that have Switch 1. So mentioning the fact that you can transfer your data over, I feel like that's definitely going to be something they'll talk about. It really doesn't have to be long because you could just mention it. Like, hey, you can just
that you can do it. Like, you don't have to show exactly everything.
If they're going to show it, I want it to have an animation with Pikmins again, like with the Wii and the Wii U.
Everybody wants that, yeah.
Yes, and bring back the Pikmin, you coward.
And show it like going from your Switch 1 all the way to your Switch 2, walking over. Yes.
I will literally refund my console if that doesn't happen. I will go back to the game store and I will shove it back.
That was the coolest thing,
and take my money back.
Dude, I locked in for that when I did that when I was like, whenever the Wii U came out. That was awesome.
And they showed like all of your little games, like they'd be carrying it all the way to the next system. That was so cool.
Switch got no soul, bro. I need that.
Yeah, the 3DS did,
Yeah. All right, well, I think the next thing I've got here is just in terms of the one feature that's been heavily rumored about this system that we all know is the mouse functionality. So apparently one of the Joy-Cons is going to be able to, like, or both of them actually, have like a sensor on it that's going to allow it to use as a mouse. But how much do you guys think that they're actually going to spend time like talking about this in the direct?
Oh, they're
like, do you think
definitely going to spend time.
like a big portion of it is going to be this?
Definitely going to spend time. Yeah. Oh god.
Because this is the new thing, right? This is like the big new difference from Switch 1.
Is it really a rumor at this point?
It's not.
I mean,
it was in their patents. They literally said the word mouse in their patents.
You can see it in the trailer. You can see the infrared thing.
There's no hiding it anymore. Everybody knows.
It's like
it got leaked beforehand. It was in the patents. You saw it in the trailer. Everything.
It's like a Pokemon leak. It's technically not confirmed, but it's confirmed. You know it's real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The only thing I think they'll have to address, like in terms of a caution about it, is like you can't have games that exclusively use this new feature because of handheld mode. Do you think that's going to be something they talk about, or?
I think you can use it
in handheld mode. I mean, it's like tabletop, but like.
I mean, the one thing I noticed is like this. If you use it like this, it's not as comfortable as you think it is.
Right.
Like, so do we think Nintendo's gonna have like some type of like accessory, like a grip, like an actual mouse grip or something that's gonna come?
Definitely.
To make it more comfortable.
Third-party companies will.
Yeah,
Nintendo
loves you're right.
Or the Wii steering wheels.
Nintendo loves their useless plastic shit. I definitely think they're gonna do that 100%.
And they'll definitely overcharge the shit out of it too.
They made a battery adapter for the Joy-Con once. And that
I remember that. Yeah.
Battery. They love their useless shit. They're absolutely making
that thing is so stupid.
Yeah. It would actually be awesome if for like a pre-order bonus for games that use it, it came with like a mouse pad of like that game.
Right.
Oh, instead of like a million steelbooks, you get a mouse pad this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'd be down for that.
1 million mouse pads.
I'm not gonna lie though, it's gonna be a useless feature. It's gonna be so useless.
I mean, like, that's the thing is, it really depends on how much they invest into it, you know? Because like the IR camera, they were like, oh, this camera's gonna change everything, and then it's like used on what, like 10 games?
No, I don't think it matters much because they already that exact feature, by the way, is on the Lenovo Legion Go, which in itself was that exact feature is already on the because I have a Legion Go like the other room. And I use it all the time. And that one, it's like a handheld like console. It's pretty beefy, but like it, practically speaking, is a Switch because you can take off the controllers on the sides, as opposed to the Steam Deck, which is just a compact thing. But if you take one of them off, it has an infrared sensor, and you can use it like literally like a mouse. But it is the most janky. Yeah, it is the most janky, useless thing that I've ever had to like endure trying to use. It is awful. It is not handy at all. It is really bad. But so that's why I have no hope for the Switch version.
It's awkward to hold.
It is so awkward to hold.
That's the thing. I feel like I know this is gonna be bigger. Like I know the Switch 2 Joy-Cons will be bigger, but this just feels uncomfortable. Like I don't think
this thing is massive.
I don't think I can do this for hours. Like
it's like, think about like an Xbox controller, right? Like how large that is. That thing, like those controllers are even larger than that. Like they have even more of a size, and still it is the most janky thing to try to use that like, you know, in action. It is not fun to use. It's like it's just weird. It feels off. I couldn't like get into it at all. I couldn't see the use case
with the Lenovo is that was the first thing to do that, and it was the first iteration.
True.
So when they release the next one, they could still have that feature and have it improved. And Nintendo might have gotten that feature and have it way better than how Lenovo did it in their first.
And if they had a better company provide like the sensors and stuff.
Even doing it for the next one. I think they dropped it entirely. They're just going for they're just going for the compact like entire thing. No detachable controllers anymore, like they did for the first one. They're like totally dropping it. Okay. No. They're dropping the feature entirely.
That's weird. All right.
Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because they didn't see the purpose in doing it, because it probably cost a little bit more making them detachable, and like the tech going into that probably was a little bit more expensive than just having a compact singular thing. So I don't know. I'm just not expecting it to be very like, and it is still Nintendo, and they are kings of making useless features that just they have it for like 2 games and then that's it, and you never see like what was it, like the rumble feature we had on the Joy-Cons or whatever. Like how often do they actually use that? Like how often do they make any use for that in a game. It's like,
I mean, they called it HD Rumble, but I can't really tell the difference. Like, I just feel the normal Rumble when I'm playing a game, and I'm like, okay, it's Rumble. Like,
well, it's the same thing with like the PS. Like everyone does that. Like the PS5 with the DualSense, you know, and it's like
exactly, yeah.
They never really use it.
They just call it something. It's Rumble. It doesn't really change anything.
I was playing Assassin's Creed yesterday, and it started raining, and then the PS5 controller started like using the haptic stuff for the rain. I was like, wow, this is so cool, but I don't think it's but it's like I don't think it's worth the extra money they're putting into like for like once every year. I'm like, oh, I forgot this had a thing and it rains. That's so cool.
Yeah.
The difference there is that Rumble is something that's so never needed, but if you make a game that uses the mouse thing, then you need the mouse thing. They can't make a version of the controller that doesn't have it because that game would just straight up not work on it.
Well, they already do that for the Switch. Like you need to use the Joy-Cons for Mario Party. If you have a Switch Lite, you cannot play Mario Party, which is one of their biggest first-party games, unless you buy Joy-Cons and connect them to your Switch Lite.
Yeah, you can still connect Joy-Con separately to a Switch Lite.
Right. Yeah. So technically you can, and you could do the same thing if it was like a mouse.
Yeah, I think
But how many people are buying Switch Lites and then buying additional Joy-Cons, right?
I mean, there's probably a market out there.
Switch Lite, you're probably not.
They still make games that require them.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm sure there's going to be some that just won't be compatible. Like, you know how like they said in their thing, like certain games won't be compatible with the Switch 2. It'll probably be like Labo, I'm guessing, because it uses like...
My first guess was Labo, yeah.
Because it uses the exact screen dimensions, like to put into like that little helmet thing that you wear. So like, yeah.
I'm pretty sure
about the thing.
I'm pretty sure Labo VR doesn't work on the Switch OLED because it has bigger screen.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
it's also like slightly bigger. Yeah.
All right. Well, the next topic I've got here is kind of one of the biggest ones. It's in terms of features and kind of like UI elements, home screen, things like that. Are you guys expecting? Because I don't think they're going to spend like a lot of time like going over like anything like that, but they might give a little glimpse of just like looking at what the new user interface looks like and stuff like that, and maybe some of the other like online features, NSO things. Do we have any hopes and wishes for features that you guys want to see?
Bring back
Internet browser? Internet browser this time, please?
Why would you need an internet browser, dude? What do you need an internet browser on your console for? Seriously, I don't understand this one at all. Everyone has a phone. Use your phone.
I want to watch porn on my Nintendo Switch.
It feels so weird to not have one.
I think
it feels weird not to have one.
I mean, the reason why they probably avoided it is because they end up getting hacked that way so easily because you can just go to a certain website and then like
liability.
It's so easy.
That's exactly why.
Yeah, but they didn't do that for the Switch and it still got hacked from just the Joy-Con finding out that there's like some pin that you could like extract something into. But yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, for me, I would say biggest thing, I want to see voice chat. I want to see system-wide voice chat. Do not make me use my phone or have to open up Discord. Just can I please have like my friends? I can just open up a lobby. We can all play a game together, Mario Kart, Smash, whatever. Just be able to invite friends. I really want that on the system, please.
I just want Discord integration. Is that like a weird one? Like I just want...
Oh, that would be the best. But Nintendo is just so like would never do that. I feel like it's funny because Xbox and PlayStation both do.
Because didn't they buy most of Discord?
Who bought most of Discord?
PlayStation.
Oh, did they? I didn't know that. Oh.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong on that one.
I didn't know if they did.
I know that Discord is on Xbox and I think also PlayStation.
It is on PlayStation because I use it. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want that on Switch. I know
that would be the best.
They would never.
They would never because they would be like, oh, it's going to interfere into our NSO subscriptions because people won't use it for voice chat anymore or something like that. Probably.
They'd rather make their some brand new Nintendo infrastructure for it and be like, this is our version of Discord with like 90% less. They will though.
I mean, they did that with the Spotify. They have like the Nintendo Music app on their phone now. Like that's Oh man.
Why would you? Which, by the way, I personally would like them to put Nintendo Music on. Like
that would be cool.
Like, I think it's weird that it's not an app already on Switch 1.
Like, it would be cool if you could set it to like your home screen music. Like, imagine like you just open up your Switch 2 and it's like Twilight Princess music or something like that.
Yeah, that would be nice. If they had Twilight Princess on Nintendo Music, then sure, but they don't.
Oh, they don't have it yet? Oh, come on, man.
No, I meant some sort of customizability on screen at all. Like, it's that those white or gray visuals are so bland. Like, I'm not, I don't think they'll ever do the 3DS thing with all the custom themes ever again. But like, just music or just like something to spice it up would be.
Oh, themes. themes. We definitely should add themes though, like because they make money off of those. They sold themes for like $2.99, $3.99, like a couple dollars. People were buying those. Like they genuinely make a lot of money if they had like a new Mario game theme or like a new Zelda theme or something. I don't know why they chose not to, but you know.
I would love that on 3DS because it did have background music, it had sound effects, all that good stuff to go along with it. It just makes like, I don't know. Every time you open up your 3DS, it was a new thing, and you're like,
it feels more personal. Your console feels more personal that way, which is really nice. I had so many Zelda themes.
I just remember I got my Switch day one. I opened it up and I was like, oh man, black and white theme. We're gonna have so many by a couple of years, and it's just, nope, it's still the same thing. We still got black and white.
Launch was a Breath of the Wild machine and nothing else. Even the home menu was just a gateway.
Do you remember at the start when you'd go in the eShop and there was like 3 games and you're like, oh.
Oh yeah, day one it was like nothing on there. You couldn't scroll. It was just the only like one page.
Now there's too much shovelware.
Yeah, now there's so much. I mean, that's a good topic though. Do you think they're gonna overhaul the eShop, like redo it completely? Please, like they better.
You can't be on the thing for 30 seconds without it chugging.
It lags so much, dude. They gotta redo that.
Scroll down the page.
It's not even the performance for me. It's the selection. There's hentai and AI everywhere.
Have like filters. Like have us like filter out like 18+ games or filter out whatever, and like so we don't have to like see all of that if you don't want to. It's just so weird.
Let us put ratings.
Why do they let
games.
anybody put
so
anything on there?
If a game is like shovelware or AI whatever, it'll have 1 star. You know, like let us rate them.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, like not having like written reviews, because we all know people would obviously like just review bomb and write a whole bunch of garbage. But like a 5-star rating system, that's what PlayStation does. Like if you have the game, you can go into the game and then like type in how many stars you would give the game, and then you could see like what the best rated games are, what people are enjoying and stuff.
They had that on 3DS eShop, didn't they?
They did.
I think they did. I think that sounds.
There were stars. There were stars on 3DS eShop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it back. I don't know why
you had it on the Wii U or no.
I don't remember on Wii U.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
If they do some kind of rating system, they should absolutely not put any kind of reward on it, because I think the Wii had it, and you could get like Nintendo points if you.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
Review a game, and people would people would rate games and just literally fill out whatever, just 5 stars, whatever. They don't care about what they do. They just want the rewards. So if they do some kind of reward, if they do some kind of rating on the eShop, they should put 0 rewards on it. No platinum coins, nothing.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of the online part too, the online app sucks on the Switch too.
Coins, right? So.
Or what?
The platinum coins, they're deleting that whole like.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, didn't they announce that like a couple weeks ago? Like they're like ending the program or something.
Coins are going.
In 3 days.
They announced it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they're getting rid of that.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
It's off for you.
I can't save $1 off my game anymore. This sucks.
But I mean, that's the thing though, is like the online app that's at the bottom of like the home screen, that thing chugs too, just like the eShop. So I hope that's like all embedded into the system, because like every time I go in there to get like a new profile picture or something, like that thing like takes forever to load. It's just chugging all the time. So I hope all of that, because that thing was literally like stapled on, like it wasn't there day one. There was like a separate update that came out for the Switch, and they added this like
bad on the home menu too, dude.
It doesn't even fit in with the other icons and everything. So I hope like all of that now is just integrated like nicely. It looks like it belongs there. So I'm hoping that the UI is smooth, and like I hope it has more personality too, because the Switch one is so soulless. Like I at least like the Wii U one with like the Mii's running in like all around like different icons, and like it was pretty cool. I know it was slow though, like that was definitely like it took like 2 minutes to load system settings on the Wii U, but still just having you know, snappy and having it still look somewhat pleasing, like a good balance. That's all I want.
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know if you had a Wii U at launch, but at launch the Wii U was so ridiculously slow.
I got it a few months after launch. I think a couple months after, yeah.
A little while after the Wii U came out, they put out a patch that made the home menu literally run twice as fast. It was so bad.
I probably had that then already, but I still thought it was slow. Yeah.
It was
Can
minutes.
I say a little system thing that I really like that I don't really see people asking for? I live in a bilingual household, and it's very frustrating if we want to like put the Switch in the lounge room, but like the entire Switch has to be in one console. I would love if per profile you could change languages, so you boot into like profile B and it's instantly in French or whatever, and then like profile A, which is mine, is always in English. That's something that really annoys me about the Switch. I'm probably like in the 0.001% of people who complain about that, but it's very annoying having to change your entire Switch's console to French or to English every time.
Well, I can relate. I
can see that. Yeah.
Relate with you on that one.
Yeah, probably in Europe it's like way bigger of a problem than here or in America.
Because there's so many languages, yeah.
I'm from a bilingual household, but I've never had that problem. So, but
I have
I've never
that problem.
thought of it, I mean,
because my girlfriend, like, I don't speak Dutch, but she speaks Dutch, and I cannot read on her Switch anything when I have to like fix something for her, or like if I want to play on it. I have no idea what any of it says. I was just
Can't
like
read
confused the
Dutch?
entire time. No, man.
And then my housemate's like,
Nature.
"Can you show me how to put it back in English?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sorry. Yeah, here."
what does the Legende van Zelda mean? What? No, but the Switch 2, you'll get a third theme. That's it. You'll get gray.
No, I think
Black,
they do
white, and
themes.
gray.
They already have
Covers.
gray.
You'll get
Oh.
white, black, and gray. That's it.
I mean, I'm trying to
they
remember.
have,
Didn't the new Nintendo 3DS add themes, but the original 3DS didn't, right?
I don't think so. I think all the themes from
Uh,
3DS and new 3DS.
Oh, they were on all of them?
Yeah.
No, I think
I
it's
feel like-
on all of
Yeah, I
them.
thought it
think
I
it's
feel
all
like
of
it came out. I feel like themes like were introduced with the new 3DS, and then there was an update that added them back to the old ones or something.
Yeah,
Um,
I think
I have
that's what
themes on
happened.
my regular 3DS, so yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I really want them to have folders so I can organize stuff as someone that gets like a lot of games.
You already
Yeah,
have
the one
folders,
they
you just have
the
to
way
go-
that they added folders was so
Folders on-
botched,
no,
like on
but-
the current Switch, like the groups or whatever they're
Having
called.
it
Like,
scroll
yeah.
all the way to the right to hit them. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
okay,
Sucks.
and then open that up. Yeah, it's terrible.
They gotta
Mhm.
bring back like the grid, like the from top to bottom like thing. Because
Yeah, see,
I hate having.
I
to scroll to
wanted
the
that,
side,
but
it's
then
so
I
long.
realized
Yeah.
the only reason they don't have that is because people who play it in like handheld mode, it would be hard for them to like tap on like the screens and stuff with their hands, like what game they want to play if their icons are really small. But I don't know.
It doesn't even have to be small. You can still have like.
I mean, not any smaller than
wide.
3DS.
Well, the 3DS
Yeah,
had the
true.
stylus. That's why they had like little pen to like put exactly where you
okay.
wanted, like what game. So that's why. But, yeah.
I should make
just
a
make it-
stylus for Switch.
But- That's why it should be an option though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I
it's
think.
kind of
Like you should be able to like
right.
scale your icons, like how big or small
Yeah.
you want them, depending on like what you're playing it
it's
on.
so easy though, because they could easily just put a little like one of those like buttons. You know what I mean? If you've ever like edited in Premiere Pro, how you can like change like where your like sequences and stuff is. You have like an option for like if you want to have it all in like little folders, or if you want to have it like in big icons. It shouldn't be hard
Yeah.
for them just to add a little button that changes that.
Like a
Like,
magnifying glass
the
or something.
smallest thing possible, you know?
Yeah.
You know the menu when you click on all software? They should just
Yep.
give you an option to make that the default, I think.
Oh, and just have like all of those like show up when you start your
yeah.
Switch. Yeah.
Yeah, just have that as the default. Like, or like a setting to have that as the default.
Yeah.
I think that would be nice.
Any other features you guys want, or should we move on to the next thing? Because I mean, for me, really, it's just online. I just want to see voice chat.
What about that posting to like Twitter that they took away? Is that gone for good?
That was Elon's fault, bro. Like he did not.
yeah,
Like
that
he
was-
like
that
the
was
whole
not
just the
Nintendo.
whole app getting
that wasn't
ruined.
on
I'm pretty
Nintendo,
sure.
I think.
No,
Oh, okay, okay.
Elon
So
Musk
I-
made
yeah.
the price for
Because like a lot of
integration
companies like started
Face.
taking away like their Twitter integration, and then Nintendo just because like I'm pretty sure he made the price like really high. It was like 12,000 a
He made it,
month or
like-
something they had to
I
pay
think it was like
to keep it.
50K a month or something.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
like they were just like, you know what, we'd rather just get rid of it, you know.
Yeah, every
which sucks.
console
So then,
said, fuck this.
what about the fact of like social media then? Because there's like no social media.
Miiverse
integration
2,
with-
bring it back.
Yeah.
Bro, honestly though,
mean,
I
they
would
did
love,
have their
I would
own-
love like a Nintendo Switch like ecosystem, like social media to share like screenshots and videos and
Your
make friends
or
and
something,
stuff.
Right?
Yeah, and if you could get that on your
I
phone
like
too.
Miiverse on Wii U. I
liked Miiverse, yeah.
I'd love to.
You know, it'd be
Something-
good. On the PlayStation app, if you take a screenshot, it automatically sends all your screenshots to your phone.
Oh, I love that
just because
feature.
It's
Yeah.
a pain
Yeah.
to do the QR code thing to scan.
that's-
and then
Yeah, I
do it
hate doing that
further.
on Switch. Yeah, I hate doing that on
That's
Switch.
really cool, yeah. One thing that's really ultra specific that I've always thought would be neat is a console where like part of the home screen, like I don't know, on the right side there's just like basically like a Twitter timeline on the side on your home screen, and you can see posts of your friends there
integration.
that they post like
Oh, like your friends on the
Okay.
Switch, like what they're playing and stuff.
yeah, and like
That'd
if
be
they
sick.
put something on the Nintendo infrastructure, the Miiverse 2, it just shows up on your home screen instead of having to open up the app or whatever.
Or like
I think that
one
would
like
be-
shortcut button that like pulls it up on the side like whenever you need to see it or
that,
something.
Yeah, like the menu in Smash Ultimate that you can open up on the side.
Yeah,
something
yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think having a social media infrastructure that you have to open up, like on the console itself, isn't very smart.
Yeah, like a
No
whole
one's
other
gonna
app
do
on the
that.
system. Yeah, I get what you
Yeah.
mean.
I just wanted it visible
just
on the home
has
screen. I think that'd be really cool.
Mhm.
You're playing Xenoblade Extra
should
now. You
call
kind
it
of got that in
Me
that game, right? Where you got like the pop-ups of people what they're doing. something like that.
Mhm. All right.
That'd
Well,
be
I
fair.
think with that, if anybody has anything else to say for features, we can move on to what's
My
probably
other-
going to be.
My other feature,
Oh, let's hear it.
really quick, bring back Street Pass. Just saying.
Oh yeah, Street
yes,
Pass.
bring it back.
No, because
Bring back Street
there's
Pass.
actually
You don't
more
have a
Switches
3DS.
out there now than 3DSs, and like I feel like
People
you'd
walk
find
around
so
with
many
all the
cool
time.
people to Street Pass with.
You know how cool a feeling it was when you'd be walking by and then you'd look and see that green notification, be
It
like,
was the
"Yo,
best
somebody
feeling.
else
It
plays
was
Switch
the
or
best.
3DS." It
Yeah.
just felt good. And then you take it to like, I don't know, if a game store or something when a new game release come out, you know other people are going to be there with it.
Dude, I
and then
love
getting
that.
to have their playing the mini games. Bring it back. That was great. It sucks.
Yeah, or just
but
call it something
only
different, but
for
have it like so that other Switches can communicate with each other, like even in sleep mode or something. Just
Yes.
I would
Please.
love a new Street Pass.
I love
unironically.
Street Pass. It was fantastic. Bring it back.
yeah, for sure.
All right.
That was
that's
a really
all.
good feature.
That's all I wanted to say.
I
Yeah.
agree. I want Street Pass.
New
Luke,
mini
I
games
agree.
though.
Mhm.
If they
Find me
brought
3.
back Street Pass, they would have to bring back like a Miiverse or something, right?
I don't think so.
Well, they weren't connected, I don't think, right?
Street Pass existed well before Miiverse did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think the only reason is because like people are saying like they're trying to branch away from Mii's now because they're like so connected to like the Wii branding like Mii's were. So people think like Nintendo wants to branch away from having Mii's because even on the Switch they were like hidden inside of system settings if you wanted to make a Mii. It's so weird. Like, but I personally love them. I think that should be like the Nintendo avatar for like your consoles and stuff. I don't mind it. Like
They're associated with Nintendo. I don't see them as a Wii exclusive.
Exactly.
Thing. Mii's
Yeah.
are all of Nintendo.
like
That's
even your
their-
Nintendo account, you go in your profile
avatar.
pictures, your Mii. Like it's not connected to the
Yeah,
Wii
that's
branding
just what
at all.
it is. It's not. Yeah,
Well, I
it does,
think
it's
it's
not
like
tied to the
the
Wii.
spelling, right, of MII.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's why they see it.
That's
kind of
why, yeah, because
associated
all of the
with
stuff
Wii.
like that during like that Wii branding had the III, like even the TV app. Remember they called it like Nintendo TV with like 2 eyes at the end
I remember that.
on the Wii U. Yeah.
I think there's a
What about with the
0%
two,
chance. Or go ahead.
I was
ahead.
gonna say Amiibo with that double I as well. But
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
true.
know how it goes.
I think there's a 0% chance they'll get rid of Mii's on the Switch too. And there's one big reason. Smash Ultimate. You will not be able to use Mii fighters on one of the biggest Switch games. Right?
Unless they
true.
scrap
And
Mii's.
Mario Kart
Unless they
9.
scrap Mii's from the next game.
There's 0 chance that the Switch 2 won't have Mii's at all. I really don't see them.
Yeah,
removing
I hope they do.
think
Because
we
I
get
like
in the
them.
menu again though.
Yeah, you might have to like
I don't
hide
think
them,
it-
like to go through some weird way to like make them. But yeah,
I don't even think that's a big deal because you know that they're there and you can find them. But I don't
That's
think
true,
it's
yeah.
like a big problem if they're in the settings. They could make like a separate icon for it, but a lot of games don't use them anymore. So that's why I think that they put it in the settings. I really don't think it's a big deal if it's like hidden in the settings. But I
Mhm.
don't
When they
think
made
they'll
Mii
remove
Sports
them at
for
all.
Switch and then hid the Mii's and made you use like their like new avatar. Remember that?
Yeah, I didn't like those new ones. Like for Switch Sports, they had like those
No,
new
they suck.
characters.
Those
No.
suck. I'm so
Yeah.
glad that was
Yeah, those
just
suck.
that game.
Yeah, most people didn't like them. People were like, "Give me Matt back!" Like everybody just wanted that.
No one
Like,
liked them.
but,
Man,
yeah.
Yeah, the Mii.
My
They,
goat, my
people would
king.
make up all like lore for all the different Mii's.
yeah.
Have you ever seen any reaction video to Switch Sports? They all go, yo, and then it shows the characters. Everyone go, ew.
Yeah, dude, everybody hated them. They were terrible.
Yeah,
hated them.
I don't know what they were thinking, but yeah. All right. Well, if anybody has any other features, otherwise we can hop into what's probably going to be the majority of this discussion for until the end, which is just going to be the games topic. But before we get started with the games, real quick, I just got to hear everybody's thoughts. Is Nintendo going to make their games $70 this gen? Are they going to do it?
Only the really big ones, like
Only the big
3D
ones.
Mario, 3D Zelda.
Zelda is gonna be 70.
It's
they made-
PlayStation's fault, bro. They started this with the PS5, and then Xbox started doing it, and then now, like, because Nintendo has no reason not to. Like, if they're like, oh, we can charge a free extra $10, why would they not? You know?
I think only the really, really big games. But like,
That's what I think
like,
is fair, because I feel like if they start doing it for franchises that aren't as big, then I feel like they're gonna lose like people getting interested in buying them. Because like if you have to like, because like I don't know, what's a franchise that doesn't sell too much, like Pikmin or like like Star Fox or something. If like a new game comes out and it's $70, that's gonna be
People won't buy
ridiculous.
Star Fox even if it's 50. Come on.
Yeah.
Here's my question. So why would they release something with almost no upgrades like Donkey Kong Country Returns for 60 full price, but then like
The Nintendo tax.
but then they have other games that they've released like Metroid Prime Remastered that was like only 40 or 50.
Yeah, that was,
and that was way more upgraded.
That was like such a big upgrade, and I was like, oh, okay, and they dropped the price on it. But then they're gonna release Donkey Kong that looks almost, it runs in HD, but
maybe they learned from Donkey Kong that it doesn't work. I don't know what the sales were on Donkey Kong.
But Donkey Kong came out after. It came out a year after.
About it every 5 minutes.
I think Prime
Hey guys,
Remastered.
remember this game is still here. I hope you
think
bought
Prime
it.
Remastered was a special, very unique case because they just wanted to sell as good as possible for Prime 4. I don't think that was any kind of lesson they learned for it. I think it was just the Prime thing.
I think that
there was a few others though.
Perfect sense for them to be like, oh, that's why they did Tears of the Kingdom at 70. For like you said, like their big games have them at 70, but now they can have those games like Donkey Kong, like remasters, whatever, and charge 60 and be like, well, it's not the same as like Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was 60, so is this Donkey Kong. Now
their
like,
new
no,
next gen games are probably going to be 70 then.
Is like our premium games.
Do we expect the new Mario Kart to be 70 then? That game, the one that was in the trailer?
Probably.
Maybe.
Because that's like their best-selling game. Mario Kart always like tops the charts all the time.
They know.
So,
they know it's gonna sell.
They're gonna make so much money if it's an extra $10. They like people would buy that no matter what.
I think the thing. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I wanted to say, I feel like Mario Kart 9 or whatever it's gonna call is gonna lean very heavily into DLC. Like I think for the first 2 years or something, it's gonna be a lot of DLC. So maybe for that reason, they wouldn't make it 70. Like games that are gonna rely heavily on post-launch content could be like a little cheaper. Like Tears of the Kingdom had no DLC.
Right.
I think that's also a big reason why it was 70.
I heard it was because of the 32 gig cartridges or whatever. Like because Tears of the Kingdom came out on like a bigger cartridge because they couldn't fit it into like the 16 gigabyte cartridge or something. So they used a 32 gig cartridge, which is more expensive for them to produce. But it was still stupid because the digital version was still 70 also. So it wasn't like it was just the physical one. But yeah.
I remember reading something like Nintendo putting that $10 extra onto Tears of the Kingdom made them like a free $100 million extra in profit. Like it's just
yeah, because the game still sold ridiculous. It sold like 20 million plus. Tears of the Kingdom
still did. They would have been
fine
profit wise if it sold at 60, but like just adding that $10, they made so much more money.
I think the only reason why Tears of the Kingdom is 70 because that was the only game they could have released that people would just buy whatever for 70 because it's Zelda, right? Like if they
I'm just gonna expect the worst personally. Like I genuinely think like new 3D Mario, new Mario Kart, new Smash Bros. I think all of those are gonna be 70.
Yeah, like if they started to release a Switch 1 game for 70, like, why wouldn't they?
And people ate it up. It was 20 million sales, no issues. So why would they not do that? That's how I see it at least.
I think new games for sure 70, but like any kind of ports that they're gonna do. I feel like the backlash would be too big if it was 70. Like even they would.
Yeah, if they do just like ports like Donkey Kong and start selling those for 70, people will be furious. But I don't know,
I think
man.
there's gonna be way less ports this gen. They've already ported everything to a console that the Switch 2 is compatible with.
That's true. Yeah, a lot of the Switch ports were just Wii U ports.
And that I'm grateful for because I had them all on Wii U. So then to play them again on Switch, I got really tired of rebuying ports over and over again. So.
Well, they're running out. So.
Yeah, they're done.
They got
because now if they want to do something, they have to actually remake the game. Like if they do some GameCube game, like if they do a Kirby Air Ride on Switch 2, like they have to like actually remake the game and like change the visuals and stuff. And so it's more effort that they'd have to put into the game,
But that's still less effort than a new game.
That's true. That's why it would still be really messed up if it's 70. But
the 1000-Year Door remake I think is a great example because that was still 60, but it was a lot of work that remake. The whole entire game is overhauled, but it was still less work than a new game because they had the GameCube version to work off of.
I think you're right that like when they take something like Mario, they're gonna keep it at 60 when it's a GameCube game. But like I think you're right that like with Metroid, that historically doesn't sell as well. They do want to make it lower so more people will try it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think it was like one of the best sellers in the series, wasn't it?
Metroid Prime Remastered?
I think, and I don't know if that.
I think it was, yeah.
They lowered the price.
Really
I think
it also came out at a good time.
Copies.
It came out like when there was nothing else to play, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people bought it just to play something before Tears of the Kingdom.
Early in the year, it was like January or February, I forget.
Yeah.
So Also,
you
it's
had a lot of people
remaster
coming in
one
from
of the
hype
highest
dread.
rated games ever for $40, so it seems like a really good deal.
Yeah, that was like one of the highest rated games for that year for like a while. I think it was like until something else.
original
But
Metroid
like
Prime
even it being the
sold-
best-selling one, it sold 2.8 million copies.
Yeah.
That's like it's crazy. Like other
great
Switch
for
games that are
Metroid.
not first party blow that out of the water.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for the game topic, for the game discussion, I guess we'd be here for 10 hours if everybody just says, "Oh, I think this game's going to be there or this game's going to be there." So instead, what I've decided is I'm just going to name a popular IP, and then we all can discuss if we think it's going to show up in the direct or not, because I think that would probably make it the easiest way. And then at the end, if there's any I missed, people can share their thoughts on that. So the first one I think we should talk about. What's up?
Okay. Not that it'll eventually come to Switch. You just mean just right here at launch this first year.
Like in the direct, like do we think this is going to show up in the direct? Like obviously I think all of these will come at some point for sure, but like I think the first thing here, we got to talk about the one game that we know 100% is going to be inside of this direct because it's the only one that was officially shown, the new Mario Kart. It's going to be there 100%. Are we expecting this to be the launch game? Like is this going to be what you get day one, right?
Yes.
I think so, yeah. I think we're all in agreement for that because
Yes.
the first game they showed for the Switch trailer was Breath of the Wild, and that's what we got day one. So yeah.
Dude, you know what blows me away? Mario Kart 8 is the best-selling Mario game ever. Like obviously they're gonna launch their console with a new Mario Kart.
And it's also just been so long. It's been
keeps
over
selling.
a decade.
It has such insane legs. It just keeps selling insane numbers every quarter.
Also, they gave it DLC
Yeah.
like 5 years after
Bro,
launch. So.
Mario Kart 8 is literally like Nintendo's GTA 5. Like it just keeps selling over and
I played it in
over.
high school.
It's
I
insane.
played in high school. I'm still
Bro,
playing.
that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
wow.
Mario Kart 8, like to put it in perspective, that came out when I was in middle school, when I was in 9th grade. Now I have graduated high school, college, and have a full-time job, and I'm still playing the same goddamn game. Like, come on, bro. Like, we need a new game, bro.
It got DLC. It got expanded.
It got DLC,
right?
yeah.
Twice.
Twice, yeah.
Once with the Wii U, and then they expanded again. But
But yeah, so
is it gonna be 9? Everybody assumes it's gonna be 9, but do you
oh,
guys
then
think
yeah, the
it's
titles,
gonna be
the
called
title. I mean, I've seen people say that it might be called 9. Some people think it might be 10 because they count Tor as like one of the games, like a mainline game. So they might just call this 10.
2.
Mario Kart 8 2.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's what it'll be.
No, they just show Mario Kart 8, but they turn the logo sideways. Mario Kart Infinity.
Oh, you might be cooking.
For 2
No,
Mario
that'd be
Karts
crazy.
games, which is 7 and 8. Before 7 and 8, they've never used a number.
They used to just
So
call it the
when
system
they
name, like Mario Kart, like
Tor,
Wii,
they
Mario
called
Kart
it
DS.
They called it Tor.
Mario Kart Switch 2.
Yeah.
That's a
It
terrible
could be
name.
going back to not using numbers.
I'd be down if they
I've
call
heard,
it like some subtitle, like instead, like they had what, like
I'd rather
Advanced
just not use
Circuit.
numbers. I'm not a
feel like
fan
they
of 7
won't.
and 8 as
I feel like
titles.
they won't because Mario Kart 9 is just the simplest name, and everyone knows 8 exists, right? So they hear 9, like, oh, new one.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what they
they
did with the
could've called
Switch.
Mario
I mean, like
Kart
it's
Tour.
called
They
Switch
could've
2.
called that
Everybody
game
was like,
Mario
oh, it's gonna be
Kart,
called
and they
Super
didn't.
Switch or something, and they didn't.
What Jake said, Tor was like a spin-off game.
Oh,
Calling
yeah.
that 9 wouldn't make sense at all.
I know,
Also,
yeah, we don't call it that, but like, I mean, apparently, like Nintendo like counts it as like a mainline game because they do it weird.
but-
Like it's like how Sakurai counts Smash 3DS and Wii U as 2 separate ones, but like they're the same thing.
No one else does.
No one else does. Yeah, they also count Fire Emblem Heroes as a mainline Fire Emblem game, but it's a mobile game. But like it's just how they do it. I don't know why, but like that's Nintendo's weird at that. So maybe they count Tor and then they call this like Mario Kart X or something because it's the 10th one. I don't know.
I think it'll be 9, but I could see myself being wrong. But also, honestly, I don't care what they'll call it. Like,
Yeah, I'm just ready for a new Mario Kart.
No
Right.
one thought they were going to call the Switch 2 the Switch 2.
Yeah.
I saw that coming.
Well, all right. Well, that was not what people wanted, I guess.
Yeah, dude, every time I said that, like the rumors, like I was like, oh, people are saying that this is probably going to be called Switch 2. The comments would get so mad. They were like, oh, Nintendo would be stupid to call it the Switch 2. That's the worst thing that ever. Like, it'd be the worst name than the Wii U.
Call it that, so they could call
But
this
yeah.
Mario Kart 9, and just do the same thing they did with the Switch 2.
People
Yeah.
were weirdly passionate about the Switch 2 name. I remember that before it was announced. Like, come on, who cares? You don't get mad
I
at
mean,
the
were
PlayStation.
people
you're
upset
done
when?
with.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
are people upset that the PlayStation just keeps going numbered?
I
Yeah,
like it.
It's
I
just a
still get
modern
all
way
the
of doing
Xbox
it. It's like, I don't know.
It's the safest option, and that's the best way to go about it, you know? Like, you
just
don't want to
makes
call
the
it the
most
Switch
sense.
U or anything.
I mean,
Also-
phones
God,
do
no.
it. All electronics do it. They just put a number at the end. Boop.
Well, I think
Hey, it's the easiest
Nintendo
way.
in particular what happened to them was a lot of people thought the Wii U was just an add-on to the Wii. They didn't like calling it the Switch 2 instead of like a lot of people wanted like Super Nintendo Switch. That could be taken as like, oh, maybe this is just like the Switch Pro.
Yeah.
By calling it 2, you make it very clear that this is the next one.
And it is important.
Even with the Wii U, they announced that it was a new console, but people still didn't understand. So I think naming it that makes it crystal clear. So I think, yeah, that's what they're going to do.
Also, Mario Kart is the casual game. Like, just the
absolutely.
casual game. And you want it to be as understandable for as wide an audience as possible. So that's why I also think it's going to be nice. I mean, Mario Kart had a huge focus in the Mario movie. Like, obviously, it's so casual focused.
Everybody loves Mario Kart. It doesn't matter what age you are. Everybody loves it.
Switch 2.
Like, if they hear Mario
Kart
Kart now, they could be like, is that like an old game or something? That's not nice,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I'm talking to super casual gamers that don't follow news or anything.
So
if they hear,
in terms of details about that game, we only know kind of 2 things to talk about. So I figured we just go over them real quick. So the first thing, it looks like from the trailer, there's going to be 24 racers that are going to be in this Mario Kart game. Do we think that's going to be the staple for the whole game, or like this is just a special like 24 player mode?
I think it's not going to have a focus, but it is going to be like a thing. Yeah, maybe a staple. I don't know.
Because this drastically changes the game. Like, you know, having double the players, like you have to balance everything like now like completely differently, making the tracks wider to fit everybody, and like having the items to get balanced. It's also gonna suck ass now if you're in first place and you get knocked to like 22nd, like at the right before the finish line.
Yeah, I think but you can choose how many people are in it now, kind of.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I think you can. Yeah.
They're just gonna have to add new items to like.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Is like, do you think like all online races are just going to be 24 players? Like they're going to try to do that as like this is like the new version of Mario Kart, or is it just going to be like 24 player mode and then like most of it is still classic 12?
Maybe. I hope it's not a mode. I really want it to be the main thing.
Yeah, I think because like, I have a theory. I have a theory about the Switch 2 games. I want to hear your guys' thoughts because I have a theory that with Switch 2 games, they're gonna try to make them drastically different for a lot of these franchises compared to what we used to have on the Switch. And the reason is because the original game is still gonna be playable through backwards compatibility. So like Mario Kart, this one's going to be 24 players. If you don't like it, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still going to work on your Switch too. I feel like they're going to try to do that.
What's up? They didn't show in the trailer, correct me if I'm wrong, they didn't show 24 racers in one race.
They didn't.
So
yeah, they didn't.
Could the 24 player mode be like a double dash mode?
Maybe.
How would that work though?
That's so like one player like controls the items and you can switch to who's driving.
Oh,
you mean 24
I mean, well, the reason people think it's
players.
24 is because like at the starting line, like when you count like the places, there's 24 spaces, so there's 24 individual like carts that go there. Yeah,
that's right. I forgot about that.
Thank you.
Anyways, I brought up this exact point in my recent video about Smash 6, is that they need, for every game that's going to come out, they need a reason, or like for any game that comes out that already has a big title on the Switch 1, they need a big reason for making it like look good on the Switch 2. And what I brought up in my video is what they're currently doing with the new Mario Kart is that visually it looks very different from 8. Like it has that wonder style people are calling.
Yeah.
Like
it's very cartoony.
Which is a huge and very smart way to emphasize that it is a completely new game. In my video, I said in the Smash Ultimate Deluxe versus Smash 6 debate, I said that if they're gonna do Ultimate Deluxe, no one's gonna buy it because everyone already has Ultimate and all that, and you can play it on Switch 2. So they do Smash 6 and make it look completely differently, so it's as clear as possible that it's a new game. So I think that's what they'll do with a lot of games.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like I think like we'll get to Smash in a little bit, but I think like Smash, they're probably gonna try to make it like completely different from Smash Ultimate, probably like a reboot or something, like make it like actually like different with all the movesets for all the characters. But then that way, if you don't like it, you have Smash Ultimate. You can still put the cartridge in, you'll still be able to play it. Steve, Sora, all of them will still be in it, and you can still play it that way. So like that's what I think that they're gonna do. I think all of the series, like I think the next like new Fire Emblem will look completely different. I think the next Xenoblade will look completely different. The next Pikmin 5 will look completely different. I think they're going to try to do that for all of their major franchises. And if you don't like it, then you'll still have the old one from the Switch that'll still work. I think that's the best way to
they'll pick and choose which franchises they do.
That's true also, yeah.
Some things come into play, like how long was it since the last like release for Switch? Like if it was long enough, they might keep things like kind of the same stylistically. You know, because it's going to be so much newer in so many ways. I think it kind of depends.
think for the
You know what I would love?
You're right. I think it'll be like the big first party developed stuff, Mario, Zelda, stuff like Xenoblade and Fire Emblem that's made by Monolith and Intelligent System respectively. Those might not, but big things that are made in-house by Nintendo will probably look different compared to
like the next 3D
I mean,
Mario.
I still expect the games to have like some big change to make it like appealing to people, but I get what you mean. Yeah.
That's what Mario Kart's doing. It looks very different.
Yeah, I mean, the game will fundamentally still be the same.
It kind of looked like the movie. So I wonder how like the cinematic.
Well, that's the next thing I was gonna say. Is the other only thing that we know about this is that Donkey Kong has a new like design in this Mario Kart game, and I mean, it's been some mixed reception. Mixed reception on it. Some people love it. Some people are like, I don't really know how I feel about it. But how are we thinking about this design?
I think it's ridiculous that people are saying it's not the movie design. It absolutely is. It has the rareware tuft that was in the movie, but classic Donkey Kong didn't have. It's absolutely the movie design because the Mario movie is huge, had a big Mario Kart aspect. It's like, come on. I don't like it personally.
I agree with you too.
Do we like them? Like, do you guys like the design?
Like Miyamoto's original design, right? Like we've had the rare design for so long, it feels like it's going back to the classic sort of depiction of Donkey Kong.
Yeah, technically it's the OG. Yeah.
Yeah, it is the OG technically.
It's not the OG because it has the tuft that the rareware Donkey Kong has. The OG didn't have that.
It's a mix. So
it's a mix. Yes.
Yeah, it's like a hybrid design.
But a lot of the new merchandise that they've been selling, like at Super Nintendo World and stuff, has been featuring a kind of like hybrid of that new design, hasn't it?
Because
they just opened the.
Personally, I'm not too big on it. Like, I'm not gonna. I don't love it. I will say I don't hate it either. But I mean, I think it'll probably grow on me. But it is definitely kind of a little weird.
That I don't like the black around the eyes is too big. I think. Other than that, I quite like it, but it's just the ice that I don't like.
The real question though is, do we think that this is just a special thing for Mario Kart, or do you think this might be like a new Donkey Kong design, like for the Switch 2 era?
I think you go either way. Like, people are discussing if he's gonna look.
Like, how would you feel if Smash 6 gets announced and we see this as Donkey Kong's design in the game?
I mean, why would it be a Mario Kart and not Smash?
I don't know. I mean, the other theory I've heard is some people saying that maybe this Mario Kart game is going to have like skins kind of, or like having different alts basically for characters, and this is just like a Donkey Kong alt.
Maybe.
Because the thing is
retro.
Because the other thing is Princess Peach is driving in her dress in a motorcycle, which is something that she never does. She always has like the racing suit, so people think like maybe you can choose now, like if you want the dress version or the racing suit, and like every character has a couple alts, and so maybe there's like a movie version Donkey Kong or like classic Donkey Kong. I don't know.
I kind of mentioned it earlier, but like with the Mario Kart 9 having a focus on DLC, but I really think Mario Kart 9 is going to be like a big life. Like, not like a life surface game, but it's gonna have like constant stuff you can.
That's how they should do it. Because Mario Kart, we all know from the sales charts, Mario Kart is always at the top, and this will probably be the best-selling game on the entire Switch too. And so if they constantly have like every couple months, you get like a couple of big updates coming out with new tracks, new characters, like that's gonna keep this game alive for the whole generation. Like that's what they probably should do. Which I think they kind of realized that from the Booster Course Pass, like when they announced that in Mario Kart 8. But they did that so late. Like they did that like so after the Switch like was out already for like 5 years. So
they only did that to boost NSO.
And didn't stop Mario Kart sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also it was tied to NSO. Yeah, that's true.
I still think they only did the booster scores pass to bump up the expansion pass. Because the tracks looked like shit. It was a rush job. I still think it was only done for NSO sales.
Yeah, the tracks were not like super like high fidelity like they were like for the base game.
Ass, bro.
Yeah, they're like the mobile game ones.
Already like taken from Troy or Tor.
They're all taken from Tor.
Yeah, half of them already were just ported from Tor. So it's like they already had them kind of built for mobile.
The later ones had a bit more love into it, probably because of the backlash as the earlier wave. Because if you compare Wave 1 tracks to Wave 6 track, they do look better.
No, you're right. The early ones sucked. They were terrible.
Yeah. All right. Well, the next other franchise, I think we all expect this to show up. It's the anniversary for it. Mario. Just like actual Mario instead of Mario Kart. Do we expect the next 3D Mario to be dropped here? I think that's almost a lock, right?
Yep.
I feel like
8 years since Odyssey.
It's been so long since Odyssey.
Yeah, it's been 8 years since Odyssey. I feel like you launch with Mario Kart day one, and then holiday around like November, you have a 3D Mario game coming out. I feel like that's the best way to get kids to want this. I feel like.
But Nintendo doesn't do that though. Like all the other companies do that, but Nintendo will like what we were talking about earlier, how they kept tweeting about Donkey Kong Country. Like
yeah.
They'll only focus like on whatever their first party game is for that quarter, and then they don't announce the next one till the next quarter. They always do that, and it's super weird.
They do, but I feel like this presentation will be an exception. Because like even if we consider like if we look at that like original Nintendo Switch presentation for like the 2017 one that happened in January, that one is like an anomaly compared to like how many big announcements we got compared to like just a normal direct where you usually get like one big announcement at the start, one big announcement at the end. That one revealed 1-2 Switch, ARMS, Splatoon 2, Super Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade 2, Fire Emblem Warriors. Like there's so many big games that were in that direct. So I'm expecting at least like 5 to 6 big games probably in this one too, if I'm being honest.
I hope you're
not.
right.
I'm not, but that's only because this is just a personal expectation. I think that will be like a direct a month or so after this one that's just focused on new games, but that's just like what I'm
For Switch
expecting.
1 and Switch 2? Or just Switch
like
1?
Both, I guess.
Oh, okay. Oh, I mean,
But
maybe they could.
I don't.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I think that they want the focus to stay on the console. They can talk about like 1 or 2 new games, but something huge as a new 3D Mario, while they also practically announce a new Mario Kart.
Well, they gotta
like a
end.
bit-
They gotta end that direct on something big, you know.
Like we said, they
Yeah.
can't rely on ports to fill the gaps as much now. So like,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
if they space those out, it would make a lot of sense if people have been hyped for Mario Kart whenever Switch comes out, May, June, and they've been just thinking Mario Kart the whole time, and then it releases, and then Nintendo has a direct to talk about more games, and then they announce the new Mario, and it builds up the momentum again.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I don't
It
think
could be,
they'll
yeah.
announce
I mean, that could be like the
Mario
replacement for like their E3 direct that happens in like June usually. Like they'll just have like a Switch 1, Switch 2 direct later in June. They could do that. They did do that for the
It's gonna be
Switch.
a sequel title.
I
or
hope
a
not.
brand
I
new
personally don't want Odyssey 2.
I hope it's a brand new.
I want like a
I don't want
completely
Odyssey.
new like version of a 3D Mario, like a whole new
I don't want
experience
Sunshine 2,
personally.
I don't want Galaxy 3. I
No,
want a
yeah.
brand new Mario. Let
Yeah.
it
I
do
wouldn't
its
mind
own
if they kept
thing.
similar
New
mechanics,
stuff.
but- Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
we're gonna get a new Mario Paint.
Yo, that's
I mean,
actually a
people
great
are
idea
talking about that with the mouse feature. Like you're using that for
Right.
like the maybe
Maybe. Maybe it's like a pack-in title.
I feel like
that
Mario
would be
Paint-
insane.
Mario
Pack and
Maker
title.
3 with the
Yeah, I
mouse.
feel like Mario Paint isn't really like that well known. I feel like they'd rather do Mario Maker 3 first, especially now that Wonder is out. They can have Wonder stuff in.
I mean, speaking about the mouse, do we expect there to be like some gimmicky like game day one that uses like the mouse feature, like 1-2 switch for the HD Rumble,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like some like basic
that's-
casual like mouse game or something?
Click.
maybe like a mode in the new
1-2
Mario
click.
Kart. I
I don't know.
That would be a great title.
But yeah, honestly, I feel like because it's the Mario anniversary and it's been so long since Odyssey, I genuinely think a 3D Mario will probably be here. I think that's what they end the direct on. But maybe like P. Jiggle said, maybe they'll just do another presentation later and have it there. They could do that too.
Here's
It's,
I feel like
idea.
it might end on Metroid Prime 4. I feel like that
That's a big
game
one.
they're banking on being bigger than anyone expects. Like I
mean,
think
you are right in the
they're
fact that like
making it
the
for a while.
Switch presentation, the January one, when everybody was like, oh, they're gonna end on something big, they just ended with Breath of the Wild. Like we already knew about that, but like that trailer was really sick. But they did end with a game we already knew about, you know. So they don't have to make it a new game.
See them ending on Prime, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, no
Here's-
one's seen Prime except for a logo.
We've seen
Well, I
a
mean,
trailer.
we got the
surprised that
gameplay in like that one direct.
Yeah, we got a trailer all
Prime 4
back.
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
we did, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
did.
Right, I totally forgot about
Kind of
that.
did flew under the radar.
It was like 2 years ago, or like it was like a long time ago. That's why. I mean, it's hard to remember, but yeah.
I don't
gonna
think
be-
it's gonna end on Prime 4. I think it's gonna end on a 3D Mario because I like Metroid.
It has to end on something that's going to be widespread appeal, right? Like, I mean, Metroid will be hype for Metroid fans and other people too, but like, what's going to get like the casual little Timmy excited too, you know?
We still need something Zelda. Like 7 years
I
ago
don't
or
think it's
something.
gonna
This
That's
No,
the next
listen.
thing I was going to say is when it comes to Zelda, what are we thinking? Because a new
Too early.
3D
They've done
Zelda,
so much.
new
done so
3D
much
Zelda is
lately.
kind of very hard because
Not
it's like
happening.
They
Tears of the
have-
Kingdom
they
just came
announced
out. There's
they
no
wanna
way.
release One
3D
Zelda
Zelda stuff.
project per year. They want to make it an annual
Yeah.
thing, just like with Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I
and
think
they
it makes
have
sense
so
to
far.
take the either Twilight Princess or Wind Waker and just slap it, and make it Switch 2 exclusive.
Bro, instead of Twilight Princess HD, it's
I don't
Twilight
think
Princess
everything else is
4K.
you know?
But maybe not like during this direct though. Probably like later
Maybe
in the
not,
year.
yeah.
Yeah, it could be later.
Yeah.
I think they.
Zelda-
I
Zelda
don't
would
think
kinda
it would
steal
be
the
a this
attention,
direct
even if it is
thing.
just a port.
I mean, people also think it could just be like instead of a new game, it could just be like a remake Zelda game that they have for Switch 2 for some other
I hope
game.
they remake Ocarina of Time at some point.
That's my favorite one. I'd love that.
I think if we're
Yeah, I
talking
would
about
rather,
this direct,
yeah,
right?
Ocarina of Time.
and they want to show off like, oh, look at this brand new system. Like them just porting a remaster of like an old one, it doesn't look good for them. But if they did do a remake of a beloved, that would look more enticing.
Yeah, like from the ground up, completely new for Switch 2. If they do that, that's going to be a good impression, and compared to just like a remaster. But yeah, I mean, I did want to mention real quick that like the amount of time that it took for Tears of the Kingdom to get like that first little teaser where we saw like Link and Zelda underground underneath the castle, and then it rose up to the ground and everything. That amount of time was only 2 years after Zelda Breath of the Wild came out, because we got the trailer in 2019, and it is 2 years since Tears of the Kingdom came out. So even if a new Tears of the Kingdom or like a new 3D Zelda game doesn't get like confirmed for this year, which is extremely unlikely, I feel like maybe they could tease that and just show like a little glimpse of it and be like, here's the next 3D Zelda, and like it won't come out till like 2027 or 8, but to get people hyped about it. I don't know.
I don't think that'll happen because one, Tears of the Kingdom was delayed a lot, so they probably announced just way too early. And two, I don't think that was also Tears of the Kingdom was very asset reusing of Breath of the Wild, and I don't think they'll do that again. So
that's true. Yeah. I mean, if the next 3D Zelda is like a whole new world and like completely new characters and art design, then yeah, you're right.
I don't see it happening.
Aonuma confirmed that's what he's doing. He said for the next Zelda.
Well, we don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. I mean, Aonuma could be like, I got one more in me and just put out Breath of the Wild 3, but like,
it's confirmed. He did say that. He said that he
said that he's not doing like a third, like a trilogy.
Okay, that's good then.
Yeah,
I'm excited then.
Brand new, complete. Now, is it still going to be like that big world that you got to explore? Maybe.
Probably. Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go back to linear again, but
they like that whole open world direction now.
With Breath of the Wild, or I think after Tears of the Kingdom, he did say that this is the new main direction of 3D Zelda games. Yeah. So it'll definitely be open world, but it will not be the same world as Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
That's confirmed.
Okay.
So we're not expecting 3D Zelda. Are we expecting any Zelda remake, remaster? Do you think that's unlikely too?
I hope not.
This direct.
I'm so sick of the Twilight Princess Wind Waker.
I mean, I feel like if Twilight Princess and Wind Waker happens, that'll be for Switch 1, I feel like. I don't think it'll be for Switch 2, but maybe. Yeah. Like, because that feels like it could just work.
Games so many times on GameCube and Wii U that I'm like, I don't need to play them again.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Do you think they'll show or announce any game that'll be playable on the Switch 1, considering it's a Switch 2 direct?
I mean, going into the next game that I have here, that could be there. Because, I mean, the next topic I've got... Oh, you can go, Jake.
Metroid Prime 4 is going to be playable on Switch 1?
I don't
because they made sure because they said it at the presentation that Breath of the Wild would be playable on Wii U, so they made sure, even though they had a brand new console.
I do expect Metroid Prime 4 has to come out on the original Switch because they promised the game would be for that system.
It's the same situation.
Yeah, it'll definitely be on the Switch 1.
No one bought the Wii U and they still put Breath of the Wild on it. So after telling everyone on Switch 1 that Prime 4 is coming to Switch 1, with over 100 million sold.
They have to put it on there, for sure. Because they announced Breath of the Wild in 2014, like when they showed that little teaser with like Link running around and then like the bow and arrow, like slow motion.
Is that how old that is? 2014?
Yeah, that's when it was. So people bought Wii U's because of that video, and so like they had to have the game on that.
People always call Breath of the Wild a Switch game, but it's not. It's a Wii U game that's also on Switch. Same thing with Twilight Princess. It's a GameCube game that's also on Wii.
Yeah. Do you guys know that, Breath of the Wild, originally, you know how there's so many menus in it? Originally, all the menus were on the gamepad, and the game was so much more fun and so much more playable that Nintendo removed it from the Wii U version so it wouldn't be the definitive version.
Aonuma, the director of Zelda, is a notorious hater of the gamepad, so I'm not surprised that like the whole thing they changed.
All right, well, the next big franchise I've got here, Ruffled. We got to talk about it. Do we think Pokemon is showing up at all in this direct, or no?
Nope.
No.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Well, no.
I feel like the only thing, there's a small chance, is that if Legend ZA is gonna have a Switch 2 enhanced version or something.
Yeah, that's a good point. What would they say? Yeah, what Jake
I mean, the only thing they could say, literally the only thing, would be to sort of like confirm that, hey, it's gonna be playable on the Switch 2 as well, and that's it. What else could they really say? There's nothing else.
Yeah, unless that, like if it has better frame rate or something, like if it has like an enhancement or something, they could kind of.
That would be the only thing, right?
That's the only thing I expect, if it's possible, because I don't think they're gonna show like a new game or anything like that. There's no way. But if Pokemon shows up in any form. I think that's the only ways they might show like a comparison and be like, well, this game will run better on Switch 2. Maybe they'll give a date too, because we don't know when that game actually comes out.
One thing that might happen is just like when I do one of those like fast like slideshows of a bunch of games, right? Like they might do like it's like a massive like slideshow of like exactly, yeah. It'll just be like mentioned there.
Okay, I can see
that. You know, as soon as they show it in there, you know people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, guys, they're putting it on the Switch too. It's gonna be better on there, like guaranteed, guys."
People are gonna say that.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Pokemon is like the one game that you don't need a high frame rate for. Like, come on. It's menus.
What we do for ZA, I would say you would need it though, considering like the combat, action combat.
Yeah, ZA is gonna be action based. Like it's actually like it's like real time combat now. So yeah.
Good point. All right, general Pokemon is like the only thing you don't need a high frame rate for.
Yeah, I feel like it's very unlikely. But I mean, next year will be big because I think the new generation will be on the Switch too, Gen 10.
100%.
They're gonna try to get a lot of those for the holiday.
I think they'll do like a
Nintendo does what they've historically done with Pokemon and have Gen 10 available as a Switch 1 as well.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it'll be only Switch 2, honestly.
I don't know.
Yeah, only Switch 2.
Because I think ZA is the last game on Switch 1.
They won't even release it for the new console. They'll just release it for the previous console.
Oh, but that depends on which like game because for example, ZA is going to be for Switch 1 and then compatible on Switch 2, but not actually released Switch 1. But for Gen 10, next generation, 100% just.
I think it'll be just made for Switch 2. I think it's going to be only on the new one.
Stuff.
I'm thinking about.
I don't want the Switch 1 holding back the next Pokemon game.
No. No, definitely not. Like
I'm expecting it only on Switch 2. Yeah, because that'll sell so many units. Like every kid's gonna be like, I want the new Pokemon for Christmas, and if it's only on Switch 2, they're gonna sell so many. Like just like when Sword and Shield came out on the Switch, that was like a huge system seller. So it'll probably be like that.
I'm not sure because I'm thinking about how Pokemon was when the Switch 1 launched. Like they just didn't see it happening at all. Pokemon Let's Go, this is a rumor, but pretty much like confirmed that Let's Go was made for the 3DS and then pushed to the Switch because the Switch did sell well. And
well, that's because the Pokemon president was like hesitant about the Switch. He didn't think it was going to be successful. He thought it was like going to be kind of a weird system, and then he was proven wrong, obviously. So I feel like this time around they're going to have much more confidence. Like, oh yeah, the Switch 2 is going to be pretty big.
Yeah, I want Gen 10 to be a Switch 2 exclusive, but part of me is thinking Pokemon is kind of like doing their own thing, and they want it to be on Switch 1 as well to sell as many copies as possible.
No, maybe they don't do that though. Like to be fair, they don't tend to do that.
I think even if they wanted to, Nintendo would stop them. I think Nintendo would like force them to make it only on Switch 2 if they suggested that.
If they did that, yeah, I hope so. Part of me is kind of skeptical because I don't know, but I could definitely see it being Switch 2 exclusive. But part of me is like, I don't know, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking Gen 10, 100% Switch 2 exclusive. Like
that's what I think.
No, it's not a question. It's not a question. It's how the generations work. The generations always try to line up with whatever the next like. There's only a set amount of generations per like system. Nintendo console for Pokemon. Yeah, exactly, per system that they do.
There's never been a Nintendo system with more than 2 generations, like new ones.
Exactly. Yeah, and whenever there is a new gen, they just like there's always like a kind of an in-betweener game that's sort of like. It's like a holder type game, like an extra.
Which is ZA like for this situation.
Yeah. So like, it's like there's always like like an in-betweener thing, and then as soon as the next console is out, because like what you had with the Switch when that came out, like is that in 2017 when the Switch dropped, we didn't have like a Switch Pokemon game. Instead, what we had was Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which still released on just the 3DS, and that's it. But then as soon as like 2018 rolled around for like the next year of Pokemon. Then we had Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and there was nothing for the 3DS. Like the 3DS was just left behind.
Yeah, they started supporting it a year after it came out, which is pretty much exactly what it would line up next year, 2026. Yeah.
Well, they all did the same thing with Black and White. They put that on the DS after the 3DS came out.
Yeah. When the 3DS came out, the newest games, Black 2 and White 2, they came out on the original like DS before X and Y came out a year after. Yeah.
How about that?
It's their standard like formula. They always do this. Like it's nothing weird or like there's nothing to like even consider that that's going to be on Switch 1 or that's going to hold it back. Only thing that's going to hold it back is shitty development from Game Freak. It's the only thing that's going to hold this game back. It's not going to be a console.
Well, man.
It won't though, dude. You can give them a supercomputer, a quantum computer, they still fuck it up. It's like
I'm not sure about that because before the Switch, Pokemon never ran badly, I think. Like even Sun and Moon, I think is one of the best looking 3DS games. Maybe that's like a hot take. I don't know.
Dude,
But-
Oh, it is. But Sun and Moon still had
same-
FPS drops, like in the totem battles.
Exactly.
character
Like
models look the
it
same.
runs fine. It looks good. I
You
think it's
know what it
just
is?
there that looks like shit.
They're running it all off of like this, like besides BDSP, all of those are running still on that same, like they're running from the same sort of platform they made X and Y on. So they're
That's what I'm
still
saying,
making, yeah, which is not surprising then because you're using the infrastructure of a entirely different console with an entirely different like ecosystem and everything and the building blocks to create a game using that same engine. And
It's like,
same
didn't
platform.
Nintendo use the Mario 64 engine for so many games or
3DS
something like that?
onward Look exactly the same, and like they got
Yeah.
caught for it in Sword and Shield, and it was a big controversy. Like you're using the same models as the 3DS, and they're like, "Yep," and then they did it again for Scarlet and Violet.
That's insane. It's been
They
said
did it. They
before.
did change them a bit though. They did sort of like they did.
Yeah, they're more
smooth
modified
out
now.
the edges.
I'm not as they don't look directly copy and pasted this time.
They've like improved them, but like that
Yeah.
base is still the same
Yeah.
base.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
It's
to be
been
fair
said
though, there's
before. It's been
there's
said
only
before,
so
but I-
much they can really do with those models though. Like because you also got to think about it. Pokemon is just almost like too big for like, you know, for what it is. Like there's too many Pokemon now. Like they've reached that point where it's like there's 1,000 of them. How the
Well,
hell
they
are
only
like
put 400 in the base game now?
true, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, it's like at this point, if they don't upgrade it for Gen 10, if they don't, which they will not, they won't do it. They're not going to care. It is freaking Pokemon. It is Game Freak. They will skim around the corners because at the end of the day, it sells no matter what. People are still going to buy it. No matter what you do, people are still going to purchase it.
Expect it to be
doesn't matter.
70. Expect it to be
Sorry to interrupt.
$70 too, probably.
Didn't the Scarlet? I heard that the Scarlet and Violet DLC sold way worse than they were expecting, which I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard because people were like so upset with.
Did they
Scarlet and
release
Violet.
numbers on the DLC though? I don't think they released like how many it sold.
I don't. No,
Yeah.
I
Maybe I
think they
heard wrong,
no,
but-
no, they actually sold really good. I think
Really?
Cerebi. I think Cerebi. Like, not even bring it up because I totally forget these things because there's so much Pokemon stuff that usually comes out. But no,
Could've sworn I heard it's
they
so bad.
I think Cerebi tweeted that they did. Like once they combine, because they don't give like individual sales, but they did like a combined sales, and if you kind of like extrapolate the data of like the amount made versus like the cost of the game, blah blah blah, turns out that the DLC still did incredibly well. I don't know if it did as good as Sword and Shield though, but it still did incredibly well. And I think right
I have
now,
no idea where I heard that then.
has Scarlet and Violet surpassed? Has
I
it
don't think it did.
surpassed Sword and
It's like
Shield?
really close, but it hasn't surpassed, I don't think yet.
Yeah.
It's like a
Let's
couple
see.
million behind, 1 or 2
Whatever,
million.
It's still 30 million. Who cares? It's Pokemon.
It's still ridiculously high, yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
Which
it's
is
been said
insane.
Before, but they just. It's been said before, but they really just gotta get Monolithsoft to work on that shit.
Oh, it would be
bro.
so insane if they did that.
Dude, and
Oh.
just let Pokemon focus on making new models for every Pokemon that's included. Make Monolithsoft make the game. Boom, 10 out of 10 Pokemon.
It would be so good, yeah.
And they're
Nah,
not
Alright.
gonna
Game
do
Freak
it.
will never give that away.
I feel like they just have a lot of like pride and like wanting to make it themselves, you know? That's what it
Yeah,
is. They don't
probably
want
let
that.
PDSP
Oh,
and
wow.
then-
Yeah.
So
What
the
are they?
difference between
Okay. They're
the
so proud
Sword
of
and
that
Shield
product.
and Scarlet and Violet, by the way, 300,000 copies difference right now.
Oh, that's not that bad.
300,000 copies. Yeah,
That's not as
it's
big as like yeah.
neck and neck.
I thought it was like 1 million plus, but wow, it got close.
Yeah, they're more than Tears of the Kingdom actually.
Isn't
Both
the
are like
best-selling
above.
Pokemon game still red and blue?
Yeah, but not by like even not by a large margin though. Like it's pretty.
Yeah, Red
close
and Blue's the
between-
highest. I think Sword and Shield is second, and then I think Scarlet and Violet
Yeah.
is third, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Which is crazy.
Yeah. So Gen 10 genuinely has a chance, I feel like, to beat them. It's crazy.
I think
But,
they probably will.
Yeah. All right. So then with Pokemon out of the way, the next topic, this one's going to be a big one, but I mean, I don't know if we're all expecting it to be there because I don't think it'll happen, but Super Smash Bros. Do we think they're going to make any announcement at all
Nope.
that it's in development for Switch 2,
Zero chance.
that they're
None.
going to tease it? I don't think so
No
because
way,
I think you don't want to blow your load and show too many big games early, right? Like Smash is such a big announcement that they could have that.
Something, right?
Sorry, what?
I hope
Sakurai
he's
is
working on something that's not
right?
Smash.
Do we
Yeah,
know it's
Sakurai
not
has been
Smash?
working on something since 2022, but it's not. We don't know what it is.
Don't know what it is. It
And I'm
could be
hoping it's
Smash.
not
I
Smash.
don't think it is. I also don't want. Well, part of me does, but
Good.
I don't think it'll be Smash. There's zero chance there will be any mention of Smash in this direct. I think. No.
Yeah,
nothing.
I mean, sometimes though, when like with previous systems, they do like they mention it. They don't show anything, but they'll just say like, oh, and the new Smash
Yeah.
Bros is also in development. I don't think we're gonna see anything in this one though, because the way that they did the Switch Smash Bros reveal, like at the end of that direct, where the Inkling like looks at the fiery Smash Ball, that thing was so good, and I feel like they'll
was
do
so
some
sick.
type of event just like that at some point.
Yeah.
Smash is
They'll
so
save it for
huge
later,
that if they Smash is so ridiculously big in hype culture that if they do even mention a new Smash game, it will completely overshadow any new Switch 2 thing.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So that'll be probably in like another direct. But are we all in agreement that the next Smash is probably being developed though right now? Like it's definitely. Because I feel like they would want to get it out early, right? Like when a new system comes out, like they don't want to wait like 5 years after the system comes out.
They've got to be working on it because there's no way they're not going to want to like.
And it's been 8 years since Ultimate already, right?
You can't,
or 7, I think. Or yeah, 7.
Play Smash Wii U on Switch. You can play Smash Ultimate on Switch too.
That's true though.
That is true. Yeah, they might be like, well, you got Ultimate to play for a little bit still, and then have a new one later, maybe.
It might be in very, very early development, but
and like we said, they might have to be rebooting it.
Yeah,
I do hope that Sakurai is not making Smash and we actually get like a new Sakurai game. That would be crazy if we get like a new Sakurai game announcement in this direct to see what he's been up to for the last like 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
That could happen. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, even if the game gets announced though,
then yes.
Even if the game gets announced, they probably won't say like directed by Sakurai. We probably won't know until like later. So
I feel like they would. No, I think they would. So if
hopefully they would.
When Sakurai's next project gets announced, I'm like 99% sure they'll mention it's made by Sakurai.
I hope so.
It's Sakurai. He's one of the most
people. Yeah, the Nintendo should be aware of how big his name is to like fans.
That's like if Hideo Kojima made a new game and it's not announced that he's the guy working on it. Like it's not happening. It's Sakurai.
Yeah. I agree. Mm-hmm. Well, and think about it. Every time we got this character specific directs for Smash Ultimate, like he always was the one who went over the presentation. They featured him very heavily in those. So like they put him out there as much as they do at Alnuma every time there's a new Zelda.
He recorded from his house for one of them.
I'd argue, like way more. I'd argue, like Sakurai is the face.
I thought that was just because of COVID.
Well, he had
to do all those from his house.
Oh yeah, that was because of COVID. But I just meant like even then he was like still like willing to appear on camera and stuff, you know.
Yeah. It started with Hero because of COVID, but it ended up being a big success and also way cheaper to make. Not a lot of like hype cost that he just continued it for all DLC characters. Because Joker didn't have one of those. Because originally they were just gonna do the whole thing of doing the character reveals.
Yeah, Joker's was very highly produced. It was like a whole direct that they had like showing all the new features and stuff for him.
That would have been what they've done for every character, but because of COVID, with Hero, they were like, let's do it on the.
Yeah, let's just have Sakurai demo the character, and it ended up being better. I like seeing him like talk about it more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Sakurai's face is so tied to it. If they announce Sakurai's game, it'll 100% be announced.
All right. So then everybody give like their guess for what year we think the new Smash comes out on this. Because I'll say then probably 2028. I guess.
That's my guess too. I think announced 2027 comes out 2028. That's my guess.
2028, I think. Yeah. Because I remember Sakurai even saying that he feels like the next sequel from Ultimate should come out a decade later or something like that. I remember he said something along those lines. So I could see 2028.
But I wouldn't be surprised because the gap between Wii U and Ultimate was like 4 years, I think, around 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's like Ultimate very heavily reused assets from Wii U. People tend to forget that, but it's very much,
like the voice lines are the same too for the announcer and stuff.
Yeah. I think this new game will be a completely new thing, so that's also just way more development time. Not to mention like between Melee and Brawl was 8 years. Like it's not uncommon for Smash to have like nearly a decade between entries.
Yeah, it'll be a longer break, I think.
Do you think when we get the next Smash that it'll be directed by Sakurai, or is it somebody else's turn?
Maybe not directed, but he'll absolutely still be.
That's what I think. I think he will be involved 100%. Even if he's not directing, he'll be overseeing it or producing it or something.
The next protege or something.
Co-directing it. That's the best way I could put it. He'll be co-director.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
I feel like Sakurai himself wouldn't give it to someone's completely without.
Yeah, no, there's no way he would just like give a. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Switch 2 one might be his like last one that he like fully oversees everything, but I don't know. Because after that, what are we talking about? The next Smash after that, like 20, like 30, like 7 or like something. It's gonna be way too long after that. So I don't know. Do we expect the next Smash to be like a whole revamp for all the characters and everything? Because I think that's the only direction that you can go from Ultimate, right? Like you can't like.
That's an argument I made in my video because Ultimate is the ultimate Smash game. If you're gonna do a new Smash game, it pretty much has to be something entirely new.
You gotta crumble it down and start from the bottom again, yeah.
Unless they bring back every character again and just add on top of it, which most people don't want, and there's no reason to to just not make it new.
I don't want 100+ characters. No.
That's what I'm saying.
It's gonna be way
I feel
too
like a
much.
lot of characters will get cut. It'll be down to like 20, 30 characters, maybe, and then I'll have some couple more from DLC. But every character will have. Yeah. Every character should have a completely revamped moveset. Like, I do not want Mario using Flood in 2028, bro. Like, come on. Like, you gotta rework the moveset.
Flood slander, what's going on here? Hey.
Yo.
But even,
hey.
Even
you gotta revamp, like, there'll probably be a new 3D Mario by then. Like, a lot of new movesets and things that they could creatively come up with, you know?
Even if you put aside what you want, like a new moveset, which I, of course, do as well, it's not smart to make it the same thing if Ultimate is already playable on it, because again, it's the ultimate Smash game. It has 90 characters. Casuals don't care if there's like, oh, you can air dodge twice now. Like, they don't care. You need like something entirely new.
Yeah.
For the next Smash game.
All right. Well, the other one I've got here, a big one. This is a topic. I mean, we don't expect a new one, but the big topic is if this is going to show up from the Switch 1. We touched about it briefly. Metroid Prime 4, or just Metroid in general. I think Prime 4 has a good chance of showing up in this Direct, right?
Very high chance. I think that's probably the biggest lock.
Like, even if it's a Switch 1 game, I think this is the good game to show off, like, technological advancements if there's going to be a Switch 2 version. Mouse control, like, it's an FPS game. Like, you could really show, like, the cursor and, like, pointing it around and stuff if that's compatible, you know?
Also, Metroid is really famous despite the sales, so...
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. I'm very shocked that they're putting so much into this, considering that Metroid, and I love Metroid, don't get me wrong, that's my favorite Nintendo series, but it never sells well. Even when the games are great, they get great ratings, they never sell. So I'm just shocked that so much is being pushed on Prime 4.
Well,
when in the past it never sells.
Well, I think they want Metroid to have what happened with Animal Crossing happen. I think
they
saw what they did with Animal Crossing, and they are pushing Metroid to be yet another one of their first-party franchises that they can count on. So
it always was.
I mean, people are already speculating.
People just never played it.
There's speculation that it might be there.
That's what they're trying to do. Like, actually push it. Like. Yeah, like the same way, because if you actually look at it, because I was looking at the sales earlier for even like the Zelda games, it is interesting to look at the sales of Zelda games, because the two highest selling Zelda games, Breath of the Wild #1, Tears of the Kingdom #2. By literally, I think the third place is like 17 million copies. I don't remember which one it even was. Might be Ocarina of Time. I don't know. I didn't like.
I think it's probably Ocarina. Yeah.
Actually, what is it? Let me look it up.
I think it's the Link's Awakening remake.
Yeah, I honest to God, I don't even know. I didn't like look at it too clear. Ocarina of Time. Yeah.
I tend to think the classic games sold better, but there wasn't nearly as many people who played games back then. So like it makes sense that newer games have higher sales.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I mean, there's definitely exceptions. Don't get me wrong.
Retro Studios.
I hope that they do keep pushing it, because like I said, I love Metroid. So I hope the 4 it kicks it out of the.
Retro Studios is just a really like talented studio at showing like what they can do with like a system and like how they can push it to their limits. And I feel like just having like a version and showing like, oh, here's what Metroid can really look on the next gen system, and like showing it off. I feel like it honestly would be a really good showcase for like how the Switch 2's tech can be. I feel like.
Okay, so we talked about the FPS mouse controls, right? But another thing that we've talked about that's going to be, well, I know I personally, and you also agree on this, is the voice chat. Is there going to be a multiplayer system with Metroid? If it's already an FPS, are they going to make it a multiplayer mode to push that voice chat too, to be like, hey, build a lobby and play with your friends online, and here you go.
Or maybe just like release like a separate like NSO type of game later down the line that's like Metroid themed.
99.
Yeah, or something like that.
No.
I don't know.
I think that they will.
I don't know if they would bake it into Metroid Prime 4 itself.
Attached.
Here's some crazy idea I have, right? Metroid Prime 4's trailer had like a shot of regular gameplay, but there was a huge like intergalactic war happening right above you, which is pretty like high-tech stuff. What if they make it so, because we already discussed that Prime 4 is probably also coming to Switch 1. What if they make it so that on the Switch 2, only on the Switch 2, there will be way more going on? Like there's like intergalactic
more particle effects and stuff,
and not on Switch 1 to show the power difference of the Switch 2.
They definitely could, yeah.
I don't think so, because they didn't do that for Breath of the Wild.
Sorry, what?
They didn't do that for Breath of the Wild on the Wii U.
But they didn't. They didn't have to, because
it was just
well, the Wii U and the Switch didn't have a big difference in power. Like the Switch isn't.
they don't have to, but it could be a really smart way to show the power difference between the Switch 1 and 2. A game that runs on both Switches, but it's got way more going on Switch 2.
I think just having it run better on Switch 2 is enough incentive.
Yeah, there's even speculation. Some people think, do you guys think that it's possible that Metroid Prime 4 releases alongside the Switch 2? Like, people think like Mario Kart will be like the really casual game, and then like the hardcore game will be Metroid. Like,
that could happen, but I think it won't. I feel like Nintendo hasn't released 2 big titles on the same day in years. So I don't think that'll happen. And
They'll give them room to breathe.
I mean, because technically, remember, Metroid Prime 4 would still be a Switch 1 game too. So like Mario Kart would only be on Switch 2, and then Metroid Prime 4 would be like a Switch 2 if it's like a Switch 2 version also, and then you'd also still have it as Switch 1 players to play. You know,
I think having like a single player game at launch for Nintendo makes sense. Like, I don't think it makes sense to only do Mario Kart.
That's a good point.
That's what I think. I feel like Mario Kart will be fun for multiplayer and stuff, but like just like one game to like sink a lot of time into, like as a single player game. I think Metroid would be great for that if they do decide to go that route.
You don't really need it.
Metroid games are quite short though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Luigi's Mansion was like the GameCube single player game, right? On launch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, at launch. But then Melee came out like 2 weeks after.
You beat that in 2 hours.
Yeah.
They could
beat Luigi crazy fast.
They could push a big Switch 1 single player game for the launch it alongside the Switch 2 with at a cheaper price, maybe with an upgraded specs mode or something for like the one player fix at launch, and then Metroid Prime could be like the Odyssey in that it's the second big release of the year.
I mean, when do we think Metroid Prime 4 is coming out?
Clarify though is I think Metroid Prime 4 will have a multiplayer mode too.
It could.
Yeah,
I think it will have a story as well.
What's everyone's guess for when Prime 4 comes out? Like, what month are we thinking?
I'm thinking summer or holiday release.
August,
I don't think earlier in
August, September.
Yeah, I feel like a September or like August release makes the most sense. I feel like.
Yeah.
That's such a huge gap.
Because what Dread came out in October?
Yeah.
I don't remember when they released Dread.
Because
Because
I'm trying to think about because November is gonna be the Pokemon game. ZA is definitely gonna be there probably, and then October if Nintendo has like another big holiday title for Switch 2 only, like if that'll probably be October maybe, because Odyssey came out in October. Mario Odyssey came out in October, so then before that, I don't know.
Forgot about Legend ZA. I think Prime 4 will be the summer game. And then ZA will be like a holiday game. That's what I'm guessing.
They could also do it where Mario Kart comes out and then like 2 weeks later Prime 4 comes out, because that's what they did with the GameCube. Because like you got Luigi's Mansion day 1, but then like 2 weeks later Smash Melee came out. So like they could just do that if they wanted to.
I feel like it'd be too close, and it might murder sales of like, unless of course that period of time is like
genres though.
Yeah, true. But the thing is, you'd want, but at the same time, it would really matter because it is a new console. There's not going to be a lot of new games anyway, so maybe people will be encouraged more to buy, Prime. Because this game really needs to do a good job. Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. You can go ahead first. I'll go afterwards.
No, I was just like, people that are buying it to play Mario Kart and people that are buying it to play Prime 4 are two completely different groups of people. And at the beginning, you just want to sell as many consoles as you can. I mean, it'll sell out either way, but you want real people playing games on it. You don't want scalpers.
I'm here to buy both.
Yeah, I'll be getting both probably.
But I feel like having more options. That was one of the worst parts of the Xbox and PlayStation launches, was not having a lot of games at launch.
Yeah.
No, true.
Releasing 2 isn't still like, compared to stuff in the past, it's not that many. Like it is
definitely not
the norm for Nintendo to do, but I feel like it could make sense in this situation just because they're so different from each other.
Yeah. Also, kind of off topic real quick, but I just wanted to say it's surprising they didn't do Metroid Prime 2 and 3 before 4 comes out. Because like, when are those gonna come out? Like, I feel like they would want to have those before the new game.
That was a rumor that they're gonna come to the Switch, but not in the same remastered style as the first one, which is a huge shame.
When would they even announce it though? Like, I feel like the time has gone.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
But real quick, I want to slide in with a crazy prediction. Samus and a Metroid track in Mario Kart 9, and then Metroid Prime 4 comes out like a month or two later promotion.
That would be insane.
That'd be sick.
Crazy prediction.
Like, especially if they go that Mario Kart route where like they're gonna try to add in like other Nintendo guest characters and stuff. I would love that, but I know it's a pretty divisive topic. But yeah.
I don't know. I could see them doing that. I don't think that Mario Kart 9 is going to be some kind of Smash Kart Nintendo.
No, I don't think so either. But I feel like maybe like one or two like extra guest characters, like how they had the Inklings, they had Link, Isabelle,
for sure.
Stuff like that.
I could definitely see them put Samus in as promote. But if they do go the live service route for Mario Kart 9, they could put in guest characters right before a new game in the series comes out.
Yeah.
Like what if Xenoblade 4 happens and they put Shulk in? What if
because like
the new Kirby game happens
making a
Kirby?
Mario Kart racer I feel like is easier than the whole like Smash Bros moveset, you know, because like it's just them in a cart.
Yeah,
it's just a model in a cart.
Character that deserves a place in Mario Kart more than anyone else is
Kirby.
Captain Falcon.
Kirby.
Oh, Captain Falcon? Yeah, Captain Falcon too.
Yeah, his racing franchise.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say Kirby because the Smash trailer that showed Rosalina always faked me out. I was always like, Kirby, bro, come on.
Also, Kirby's really popular, so who knows Captain Falcon
They would
besides
probably
Smash?
I'm just saying Captain Falcon deserves it. I don't think that would be their first
Yeah,
choice.
I mean, they do have Big Blue. They do have Big Blue in Mute City, so I agree.
No, he does. He doesn't deserve it because it would be way too slow for him.
That's true.
That's true.
Even if they got 300cc, it's baby mode for him. It doesn't make sense.
All right. Well, I think if we've gone through Metroid, we can just go through some of these other franchises real quick. Animal Crossing. Do we think it's going to be in this? I think there's a chance. Because it's been 5 years since New Horizons.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
It could get like a teaser announcement. Yeah, I could.
That's what I don't expect it to be this year, but I think they could like just say like, oh, it's in development or it's coming or something like that.
That's what they did with New Horizons.
It would be such a smart thing to drop it like as early as possible, just to get as many people onto like the Switch 2, because that game, it is insane. Looking at this, is the second best-selling game on the Switch.
Yeah.
Think about that. Animal Crossing is above Smash like Ultimate, Breath of the Wild. It's above like.
It's above
Odyssey,
Pokemon too.
Pokemon. Yeah. It's above all those things. 47 million copies. That is insane.
And it had the COVID boost, but still like. It had the COVID boost, but yeah.
It came out 3 years after the Switch launched, and it was delayed. It was supposed to come out sooner.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 2019.
Waiting a couple of years to release Animal Crossing makes sense because it is something that a lot of people bought a Switch for. So when Nintendo needs a new boost in sales, to bring that out, and it's also something where it's more of a lot more. It sells a lot more because a lot more casual gamers play it, and so I think they want to wait and have like the number of Switch 2 owners build up before they release that game.
Yeah.
A lot of people also think
community game.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of people also don't like
sell.
How much did what sell?
Like how much will the Switch 2 actually sell? Like how well will it perform as opposed to like the Switch 1?
Like overall, you mean? Like the whole life of the system?
Yeah, overall, like the lifespan of the system.
I think I think it'll be less than the Switch 1.
Past the Switch 1 though. No.
I think it'll be less, but still really close. I think it'll be like 70, 80 million, maybe still 100 million too. But I don't know if it'll reach the 140 million.
Switch 1 started so slow.
Yeah.
Like it was coming off the Wii U, and like this is coming off the Switch. Like I don't know. I think it'll sell more.
It's possible. It really depends on the games. If they have so many amazing games that people are just gonna keep buying it, like it can definitely surpass and be like a whole PS2 basically just for Switch. But yeah, I think for Animal Crossing, the thing is a lot of people agree that Animal Crossing, they kind of dropped the ball in terms of how they handled like the updates and stuff, because they did like one major like upgrade and then they stopped doing it. And I feel like if they actually like make an Animal Crossing like really good for the Switch 2 and then just keep doing expansions over the lifespan, like kind of what you said with Mario Kart P-Jiggles, like you just keep doing that with Animal Crossing, that would be huge for...
Well, they already tried that. If they do that, they'd have to really like lock in and do it right this time.
Yeah, I just feel like Animal Crossing is really big that they would be kind of stupid to wait too long on it. I feel like this one they really should get out earlier. And the thing is, Animal Crossing is made by the same team that makes Splatoon. And Splatoon 3 is still fairly recent. I wouldn't say that like we need a Splatoon 4 immediately. I think because like what happened with the Switch 1, we got Splatoon 2 before we got the Animal Crossing game. I think with the Switch 2, they should do the reverse. I think we should get Animal Crossing before we get Splatoon 4.
I definitely think they will, for sure.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. All right.
Well, we're not at Splatoon, but Animal Crossing, this direct, I think it could be mentioned, but I don't think gameplay will be shown, because if gameplay is shown, then it'll come out like in it.
It would be like a very generic, like Tom Nook white background, just showing like Animal Crossing, something like that. Yeah.
Or just a title or just like announce that it's a thing, like
or like a logo if they have like the name of it already or something. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think the theme of the next Animal Crossing will be? Like, it was an island. Do you think they'll go back to like city or like a town? Like,
what did you say?
We're going to space.
That would be crazy. Different planets or something.
It's my crazy prediction.
Poverty because of the housing crisis. I don't know.
Bro, I could just go outside and play Animal Crossing then.
True.
You pay them off.
Yeah.
Good. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, the next one was I grouped these together. The next one would be Splatoon. Then if we talk about that, so like if Animal Crossing, I feel like it should come out before the next Splatoon game because Splatoon 3 was what 2022, and then the DLC was 2023, so it's still fairly recent. I think like Splatoon 3 can be fine for another year or two before the next one.
Splatoon is not happening this direct, I think. Splatoon's gonna be a
it doesn't need to either. Like I know the Switch one had it, and it was like a Splatoon 2 announcement, and it was only 2 years after the game came out because Splatoon 1 was 2015.
Really soon after.
It was really soon, but like I don't think it's necessary for the Switch 2. I don't know.
It's not. People already make a big deal out of Splatoon. People already make a big deal out of the fact that Splatoon 2 and 3 share like the same system and user base. If you put in a third game after that, that's gonna really muddle things up.
Yeah, I think it'll be a while.
I feel like if they're gonna release Splatoon 4, they'll have to shut down the service of Splatoon 2. You know what I mean? To like,
maybe
people still play Splatoon 2. Like a bit.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. I did not buy Splatoon 3. I only got Splatoon 2 because for me, Splatoon 3 did not look like enough for me to warrant buying it again. It looks so similar to Splatoon 2. And I'm not a Splatoon crackhead like where I'm spending like 600 hours in the game. Like I'm a pretty casual Splatoon guy. So I was like, this game is not looking too like drastically different for me to want to buy it. And some people are telling me that apparently Splatoon 3 has a lot of like connection like issues and like disconnects and stuff too. So I don't know, but I mean,
it really did. It had terrible service at launch.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I hope Splatoon 4 does look like more drastically different. I hope they add more game modes and stuff. Like that's like the big thing for me is like add more ranked modes. Like that's like the biggest thing that really kind of like differentiates. Like, oh, you can play this mode that you can't play in Splatoon 2 and 3. But like, I don't think Splatoon 3 added any new modes. It was just the same Rainmaker, Splat Zones.
It really didn't. No.
Yeah. So that's
they had a new weapon type, but that was
new weapon types. But I mean, that's kind of to be expected.
And new maps. But like,
that's always.
Yeah. But people are hoping for a battle royale Splatoon. That could be a thing. But for this direct, I don't think Splatoon.
I feel like that would be separate though. Like you should not have that as like a Splatoon 4 branded thing. It would be like its own.
The focus of Splatoon 4. You could still have the normal Splatoon mode, and then 4 is like a side mode.
But they do have to shake up the gameplay. The gameplay is way too similar between all of them. Even Splatoon 1 is like, it's just like, it's the same thing. If I'm going to buy Splatoon again, it's going to be something.
Well, they can't change like the fundamental, like, you know, you shoot your ink, you swim through it. Like, they're not going to, they can't.
That, but there's got
But it's hard, yeah.
I don't know.
I get what you mean, though,
I'm not developing Splatoon 4, but something's got to change.
Yeah, you got to like change up the gameplay and stuff. I know they added like a new role or something, but yeah.
But for this direct, no, I don't think.
No, I don't think it's not necessary. We don't need to see it either.
Again, sizzle reel for backwards compatibility, but nothing new. No new game.
Yep. All right. Well, this next one is a pretty interesting topic. I have Xenoblade, but I also have /Monolithsoft because it's an interesting situation for them because Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition literally just came out this week, like a few days ago. So it feels highly unlikely that they would show up to this direct and be like, oh, well, this game hasn't even been out for a month yet, but here's our next completely new Xenoblade game. Because I still think it's in development. I don't think there's no way that like they've only been working on Xenoblade X Definitive Edition since like 3 finished. Yeah, that like 3 finished in 2022. There's no way for 3 years they've just been making Xenoblade X Definitive Edition porting a Wii U game. So they've clearly been working on the next project. It's just such a difficult situation because the one, it just came out like a few days. So I don't think they can just like show up to this direct and be like, here's the next Xenoblade game, you know? But how are we feeling about Xenoblade?
Aero, I don't know if you remember this, but there was Monolithsoft put like a job listing out for a completely new project, and there is art of this new project.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Or like
that's the only thing I feel like if Monolithsoft shows up, because we know that they're also working on a quote unquote new IP. Like it's separate from Xenoblade. It's a whole new series that they want to do. If that's going to be on the Switch too, then I feel like that could possibly show up. They could say like a whole new world and a whole new like cast of characters, and it's like a game developed by Monolithsoft, but it's not connected to Xeno at all. Like if that's going to be their project for Switch 2, I could see that showing up in this direct. But
I don't think it will, because I think they'll focus on the fact that Xenoblade X reportedly has a 60 FPS mode for the
that
Switch.
Could just be the announcement too. They could just do that.
That's what I think will be Monolithsoft's big thing, because I really think Switch 2 is going to have performance improvements for older games.
Oh please, I really hope. I think
Xenoblade X Definitive Edition will be the poster child for that in this direct specifically, because it's so
that would be so good. Like if they just show it side by side and the camera moving in 30 FPS, and they go to like they do like that animation where like it shows the Switch 2 version, and then it goes to like fluid 60 FPS. You got the better resolutions. That would be so sick.
Some people bring up like frame rate issues like animations and stuff, but I don't know if you know this, but there is a pretty popular mod for the Wii U version of Xenoblade X that runs it at 60 on emulation, which is completely flawless. So this Definitive Edition running at 60, very easy to do.
The thing that's weird about Xenoblade X on the Switch is like obviously the game leaked before it came out, like everything does. But when people tried to put this ROM into the emulator and like uncap the frame rate, people were saying the Switch version of Xenoblade X is so like designed around the physics of the game itself that like because they're made for 30 FPS, even if you unlock it, it like breaks the game and does not work properly. But because this 60 FPS mode is like hidden inside of the files, it would be stupid to just keep it in the game if it was never going to be used. I feel like it's just taking up space for no reason. So I feel like it probably has to have some purpose. And I feel like if they show up to this direct and they're like, oh, here's the game running in 60 FPS and it looks even crispier, that would be just crazy.
Crazy theory. It could be that they did that on purpose, so that when the Switch 2 comes out, they release a patch that adds in whatever else it needs to function well.
I mean, that could be it, yeah.
Yeah, could be a thing.
But like,
there are more games that, I don't know if you know this, but Mario Wonder and Pikmin 4 had like UI elements in the code that do not show up in the game at all, that were speculated to be for Switch 2. So they could be like, they could show, oh look, here's Xenoblade X that straight up runs better, and here's Pikmin 4 and Wonder that have new, I don't know, whatever on the Switch 2.
Yeah, I really hope they go the upgrade route, because I really want to play like certain games. Like, I would genuinely play the whole Xenoblade trilogy again if like they all ran at 60 FPS.
60, come on, yeah.
I want Noah's played this game, but I want Astral Chain in 60 frames per second.
Oh, that would be sick too. Also, we forgot to talk about in the Zelda section, but like there was a rumor going around that there's like a Breath of the Wild like remaster that runs in like 4K 60 FPS. And I swear, bro, if that's what they want to like have as the Zelda announcement, like it's such a Nintendo thing to do that I could see it possibly happening.
Stupid.
I'd play it again 60.
Yeah.
But would you buy it for $70?
Well, I'm a simp for this franchise. I'd lay myself on the road and let them drive over me.
I feel like if they make it like Switch 1 players get to upgrade it for like a $10 fee or something, I'd probably do it.
I can see them having Switch 1 players upgrade for free, and that's your incentive.
I hope so. That would be the best if they want to be the most pro-consumer. Free upgrades if you already have the game.
Yeah, if you already have the game.
If you already have the game, yeah. But yeah, I mean that could be like the Zelda announcement, because like that was apparently what they were showing developers, like behind closed doors. That was like the rumors coming out that they were showing developers like Zelda Breath of the Wild running in 60 FPS with like 4K visuals and like barely any loading times.
Thing. I mean, they had like a super HD Twilight Princess boss fight showcase for the Wii U, and that never ended up happening being a thing.
Yeah, that still pains me, because I love how that tech demo for the Wii U Zelda looks, and we never got anything like that.
It could be a similar situation there. They just showed developers that like, hey, look, Breath of the Wild can run 60 frames per second flawlessly on this console. Make your game here, please. Thanks.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It could just be like a developer thing to make it seem hype for them, and it has nothing to do with what we actually get to play. That's possible.
Breath of the Wild could be a great example of that, because everyone has that game and everyone knows about it.
That's the biggest reason why people are like, why would they do a remaster? Because like so many people are like, you know, and like I don't know if I would want to go through that whole world again and like play. I mean, like 60 FPS is great and stuff, but like
exactly, I don't want this to become a new
and it's so weird, because why pick Breath of the Wild when Tears of the Kingdom is the more recent one? Like that feels so weird to me also. You know, I don't know.
I'd be more achievable for them because Breath of the Wild's smaller scale.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was because Breath of the Wild was made for the Wii U. So like maybe that's why it's easier for them to get that game in 60 FPS and 4K compared to like Tears of the Kingdom being made for Switch, you know?
It's more demanding.
Again, if it is
Kingdom,
just a
isn't
tech
it?
demo, thing, it makes sense because then why would they spend effort doing it on the harder to work on game Tears of the Kingdom instead of just quickly putting through Breath of the Wild
Yeah,
60 FPS
exactly.
show developers?
Yep.
Makes sense to me.
All right, well, with that, I mean, I guess I don't have anything else here. So for first party, do we have any other things that you want to mention? Because like I could obviously name like, you know, Star Fox, Pikmin, so many other things. Do we have anything we want to discuss that we think surprise, like they revival, they have like a surprise IP that they bring back or
Emblem?
something?
You think that's coming?
Okay, so
Fire
Fire Emblem is
Icarus?
actually interesting because Engage came out in 2023, but was rumored to have been done for like 2 or 3 years, I'm pretty sure, because Engage was supposed to be
remember
like the anniversary Fire Emblem game, like because you know obviously it brings back like Marth and like all the characters too, so it was supposed to be like a celebration game. And so if we put that into perspective, that means the new Fire Emblem game would have to have been in development for like 4 to 5 years. So like they probably would have a new one ready by now, but I don't know if they would have it in this direct, and if it would even be this year, because another big rumor is that Fire Emblem 4, like Genealogy of the Holy War, it's like an SNES game. There's a heavy rumor for years now that that game was supposed to have a remake on the Switch, and apparently it's been done since like 2021, but Nintendo has just been sitting on it and has not released it at all. So it's a weird situation for Fire Emblem. I don't know.
That's been rumored for so long.
I don't see
dude.
Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Like a launch.
I don't
trailer.
think
They
so
might just
either.
save that
It's
for a
not-
normal direct later.
It's pretty niche.
I love Fire Emblem, but it's
Fire-
not something you put in a. Hey, this is our Switch 2. By the way, it runs Fire Emblem. It's like,
Yeah.
Also, Fire Emblem
even though
is
it's grown in
on it,
popularity, I
so-
still feel like it's still definitely niche as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not for like the big full console blowout type of presentation. Maybe just save that for like another future direct down the line.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I think one completely out of left field surprise, what I'll say is a new Luigi's Mansion.
I mean, it has been a long time.
That'd be dope.
That one came out
I
what,
can see-
2019? 2019, right?
Yeah, it
For
was.
3.
On it as
I
a
can
launch
see it.
title
Was.
before.
So it's been 6 years since that. So yeah, I
Maybe
can
like
see
a
it.
smaller scale thing. It's just like as a quick launch title. That'd be cool.
And
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion always shows off the graphics of the console it's on. That's like a big thing with it.
Yeah, people say Luigi's Mansion 3 is
yeah.
still the best looking Switch game. So like, you know,
It's up there. It's so it's really pretty.
it's just very
It's
high
crazy if you
fidelity.
look at
Yeah.
the first trailer, which looked awful.
Mhm.
Kid Icarus, please. It's
Oh,
been
Kid
like
Icarus.
13 it's been like 13.
Yeah.
It's been like 13 years.
I'm hoping
coming.
that's what Sakurai has been working on.
Yo, even
I
if
hope
they
he's
just
doing that,
please.
not Smash.
even if they just bring the 3DS
What if-
one to
what if
Switch
they
too, bro.
release a new Kid Icarus, but you have to use the mouse.
Oh,
Oh no! Oh please, no! Don't do that to me.
that would be insane. How would that work in docked mode though? Like you just have to sit next to like your mouse pad like on your sofa with you? Like how would that work?
Yeah. fuck
You
it.
buy the third-party mouse.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Yeah. I
would
don't know.
love a new Kid Icarus. Unlike the Sakurai topic, I know he's not involved anymore, but what about Kirby? It's been a while since Forgotten Land, right?
Didn't Sakurai say though that he has interest in like he would want to go back and work on Kirby again or something? I feel like I remember him saying that. I feel like I remember him saying something like that, or it might have been in one of his like Sakurai videos, like on his channel. He might have like said something about like if I was given the chance, I would go to Kirby again. But yeah, it has been a while
Maybe.
since Kirby. What? Because Star Allies was 2018, and then we had Forgotten Land. So yeah,
Wow, my Discord just shit itself for a second.
yeah. Discord was lagging
The only
for
thing
you
I wanted
guys.
that we didn't talk about, that I kind of wanted to bring up, and I didn't know if it is going to have any relation to Switch 2, but I believe it will. Do you guys remember last year when they had that like weird play test?
Yeah.
Oh,
what you mean?
Oh yeah,
What-
yeah. The
whatever
MMO
happened with
thing.
that? Do you
Yes,
think?
I was about
Yeah.
to
Do you
bring
think
this
they're
up.
built? Is that going to be a launch game for? Are they built? Was that just to test servers? Like, what was that for?
Yeah, I don't
think
know what that was
for
for.
a game. I think this. I'm surprised you didn't like make this a topic at all. I think the Switch 2 is gonna have. Well, this is partly a hope, but also like what I expect. One of the biggest things people know about Nintendo is that their online sucks ass.
Yeah.
I think that they're gonna want to push better online on the Switch 2, and I think the Playtest program was something to do with that. Just kind of testing new bandwidths or whatever.
If it's
Yeah.
like a heavily like online
Okay,
focused
good.
game, like a Nintendo MMO, I could see
I
that.
think Nintendo also purchased like a couple huge buildings. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about this, but
I haven't
what
heard
if
of it.
that? I don't remember if that's like. I think they bought like a huge building somewhere. What if they start like preparing servers, like dedicated servers in those?
That
then
would
this
be
is
insane.
Get off the
I would love
Amazon
that.
stuff because it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, dedicated
it's
servers.
pricey,
It almost feels at this point it needs to be a must.
Yeah, that's what
If you're gonna push online and you're gonna say, hey, we're serious about this, you can't come in and go, oh well, but we're still using the crappy.
Do we think NSO is gonna have a price increase on Switch 2? Like they're gonna make people pay more?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like if they have like the voice chat features and more stuff, I could see them maybe like charging a little more for it.
I don't think they will.
I hope they don't. Nobody wants to pay more, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening. But
I think
for
it
the
will
play-
just because
Yeah,
of the way the global economic markets are going. You see every other sort of subscription service like Netflix are raising their prices incrementally. I think it's just a matter of time.
Didn't PSN do it for PlayStation also? Didn't it go up a little bit? Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it'll happen
Maybe.
eventually. I just don't think it'll be at launch of Switch 2.
Yeah, that would be bad marketing, I think. By the way, you guys have to pay more to play online.
I mean, if it does, it won't be like they won't display it in the presentation. It'll be like one of those things you find out after it ends, like at the little small text at the bottom.
Yeah.
By the way,
like
The price of the expansion pass. I don't know if you remember that, but the price of the expansion pass was announced in small text in an Animal Crossing Direct when they announced the DLC.
Yep.
wow.
All right. Well, any other first party things that are like surprise IP revivals, Star Fox? I mean, we talked about Kid Icarus.
3D Donkey Kong. 3D Donkey Kong.
That would be crazy.
They keep pushing Donkey Kong. They keep putting him in everything. So it's like, give us a new Donkey Kong. If it's not going to be retro and the that series, the Returns and Tropical Freeze, then do something else with him. But do something with Donkey Kong, please.
Wasn't there a huge rumor a while back of a new Donkey Kong being developed by the Mario Odyssey team? I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, that was like 4 years ago.
And that's the
I
other
think.
rumor is that the new 3D Mario is going to be the both of them, right? Because that's what was heavily featured in the movie. You even saw Donkey Kong use Mario.
Oh, like the next 3D Mario has Donkey Kong and Mario in it? That would be crazy.
The new 3D Mario game is going to be Mario and Donkey Kong.
That would be sick, honestly.
Adventure, whatever it's called. It's going to be both of them.
I would like
That
that.
could be a big thing, yeah. That's a good idea. I didn't think of that. That could be a thing.
So,
All right. Well, last topic I've got here is just third-party stuff because we obviously know there's going to be third-party games, and I'm sure with the Switch 2's upgraded performance, there's going to be a lot of companies that are going to show up and have some announcements. But what are we expecting like within the first couple of months? Like, what types of third-party games do we think are going to come to this and be announced in this presentation? Because I'll go first, and I'll say the first one. I think Elden Ring. I think at some point is going to come on this system for sure.
I think I think that's a lock for sure.
Yeah.
People, I think
can we get Dark Souls 2 and 3 as well, please?
I can see that.
Get all three of them.
I could.
Yeah, because Dark Souls 1 is on the Switch.
Get all three Dark Souls. They already have Dark Souls 1. Let's just get the other two.
I don't give a fuck about 2, but I'll take 3. I want Sekiro.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah, just give us 3.
Sekiro.
1, 3, and Sekiro. There you go.
Sekiro could definitely work too.
Yeah.
A lot of FromSoft games.
Elden Ring is an interesting one because Elden Ring is such a massive game. Everyone knows about it, and it could probably run on the Switch too. So that would be like a big.
It was on
There's
PS4.
No way Elden Ring could. Yeah, there's no way Elden Ring could ever work on the Switch 1 unless you heavily downscale it. So showing that on Switch 2 could be an easy seller.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Especially if there's some kind of deluxe edition for the Switch that includes the DLC.
What about do what they did with Skyrim and make Link play, or like how you could get the Master Sword in Skyrim?
Oh, like Zelda content or something?
Have a Nintendo-ish thing shoved in there.
A new boss, a Ganondorf boss in Elden Ring.
Oh, that would be sick. Like a super sick hard Ganondorf boss or something.
That would be, dude. This is completely unrelated.
Long hair. Yeah.
One of my biggest gaming wants is a Zelda game made by FromSoft that plays like a Soul game.
That would be so.
Biggest one.
Would
Instead
be brutal.
Of bonfire, you got miniature fairy fountains. I don't know. I just think it could work so well.
But Rafa, what you were gonna say a game? Which one?
Oh, I was gonna say GTA 6 as a joke, but no. Like in terms of Elden Ring, they could also do the new one that's coming out, Night Rain.
Oh yeah,
because that's coming out like what is that? May? I think.
May, I think, right?
End of May. Yeah, end of May. So
yeah.
So they could definitely do that one because that's also smaller scale than regular like Elden Ring. So that's one. That's definitely one.
It's also very online focused, like it's 3-player co-op, so they'd have to do some stuff with cross-play, I would assume.
It would be a good way to show off the online, like that it's capable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know I said this earlier, but Remake and Rebirth Think of the audience that is on Nintendo that has not played. I mean, has not played those games.
Yeah,
I mean, it would sell like
Square Enix always says Square Enix is always like Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth have not met our expectations for sales, but like it's always just been a PlayStation exclusive, and then on PC.
Even the PC sales weren't that great, right?
If there's any Final Fantasy stuff that Nintendo fans care about, it's 7, right?
Yeah.
You got Cloud.
I mean,
and Smash.
bro, yeah, we got Cloud and Sephiroth and Smash, but like his biggest like new release is not on it yet, you know?
I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I think I heard that of like the old Final Fantasy re-releases on Switch, 7 was by far the one that sold the best. I think I heard that.
I believe that. Yeah. That seems likely. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's like one of the games that's already heavily rumored, because the guy who leaked when the Switch was gonna get announced, the Switch 2, he did say that this year we're getting Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then he said 2026 for Rebirth. So I think it's possible. And if they're both Steam Deck verified, they're both on Steam Deck.
It makes so much sense.
I'm not sure.
Then there's no reason they shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about this Direct specifically, but Remake and Rebirth on Switch 2 is absolutely happening. Like, I think there's a lock. I agree.
I mean, if it's in this Direct, it could be like a third-party, like sizzle reel. They just show like a bunch of third-party games. It could be like just a little screenshot of Remake or something, maybe.
Yeah, but that would still be an announcement because we don't know about
it would be. Yeah, I mean, I do expect there to be like some sizzle reel for third parties, because I feel like so many third parties are probably just like sitting on games that they're ready to like release, but they can't because Nintendo's like, you're not allowed to say anything until we have our Direct, you know?
I could see like some non-exclusive games, but that haven't been shown yet getting announced here. Like for Dragon Quest Day, they never showed Dragon Quest 12.
Oh
Still
yeah,
not shown. You're right.
I could see something like that.
When was that announced? Like 3 years ago, or it was longer?
Way longer, I think.
Oh really?
Way longer. Yeah.
Oh,
that was announced around the same time.
People have been waiting for Dragon Quest for a while.
Oh wait, yeah. So it's been like 4 years without anything that we've seen. That's crazy. Yeah, maybe they could actually just show a little bit then. They could just show a little bit, yeah.
It's a logo and that's it. That's all we've seen.
Yeah, then maybe we'll get like a little glimpse of gameplay, and then they'll show, because like obviously like Dragon Quest is huge for Nintendo and like Japan itself, so having that would be like they specifically waited for a Nintendo Direct to show off like the remake too, like the one that recently came out, like Dragon Quest 3 and like the 1 and 2 and stuff. So yeah, I could see that happening. It was in the Switch presentation too. The 2017 one, they had Dragon Quest 11 get announced there.
Yep. Speaking of third party, people are talking about maybe Street Fighter or Tekken, but I don't see that happening unless the Switch 2 has way better online. Because for fighting games like that specifically, very good connection is very important. Like, I mean,
we forgot to talk about it, but the Switch 2 does have like that new C button that's like rumored to happen at the bottom.
Bring that up.
Yeah, I forgot. I was going to say, but I mean, it's heavily rumored, because I remembered when you just mentioned online that people are saying that that's probably going to be tied to like having party chat or some type of like community system. So maybe they really are going to have like a big focus and be like, this time around, you know, we got our shit together. The online is actually good. That would be amazing. That would be the best announcement, honestly.
Maybe that could open up the menu we talked about, like the slide menu showing the Nintendo Online.
Yeah, like you just press the button and then it opens up like who's in your lobby, like all your online features. That would be amazing.
I think that's what they'll do, yeah, personally.
Yeah.
But
I know there was rumored the Master Chief Collection. There's that.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Halo, I could see that, yeah.
Because the Xbox is trying to put all their stuff on everything.
That could be a good showcase for the mouse stuff, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. More FPSs. I think we're gonna see more FPSs this time around.
Oh, Call of Duty is probably gonna be there too, I think.
Especially if if they're really redoing the online.
Didn't they sign like a deal with Nintendo that Call of Duty's coming for like the next 10 years or something like that, right?
Really?
Yep. Yeah, they signed like some, because like when Blizzard was like acquired by Microsoft, they had to sign some agreement to say that it won't be like a monopoly, basically.
That's lol. Okay. That's
funny. So, and obviously we know Call of Duty ain't running on the current Switch, so maybe they've just been waiting for this system, you know?
Do you think they'll show Fortnite at all?
Really holds Nintendo back. So.
Oh, Fortnite. I mean, Fortnite could be there.
Come at it with,
I mean, Fortnite runs like garbage on the current Switch, so maybe they finally show like, you know, hey, it's in 60 FPS. It looks better now, you know?
Nintendo promotes Fortnite a surprising amount. I don't know if you've noticed that, but like anytime they announce anything, Nintendo quote retweets it like, "Who's doing this on Switch?"
Wasn't there like a special Fortnite Switch bundle too that came out at some point? I remember that. I think it was Europe only though. I don't think it was in the US. But yeah.
Really? I've seen it in stores a lot. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't here because I think we got a different game. We got a worse game.
Samus to the eShop.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Like, or Samus to the like for the Fortnite shop.
Right, that was rumored, but there's no way that would happen because that would mean Samus would appear on PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason why it didn't happen. Like it was in the works, but then Nintendo wanted Samus to only be in the Switch version of Fortnite, and then Epic was like, nah, that's not happening. So then they just didn't do it.
Because there's a Mario and Luigi car in Rocket League that only shows up on Switch.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like if you play against somebody with an Xbox, you just don't see that one. It's crazy.
Yeah, you don't see it at all. Nintendo is very stingy with that.
Yeah, they're very stingy about their IP like that. So
like, I don't think we'll ever get any Nintendo stuff in Fortnite, but I do think Fortnite might like show up in this direct. Maybe.
I think it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, big game.
Do we think any upcoming games? Because I've heard there's been rumors like the Metal Gear Solid Delta remake could come out on Switch
Hell
too.
yeah, brother. Hell yeah, dude. That'd be so sick, man. But it's not gonna happen.
I think it's possible. I don't know. We'll see.
We didn't really talk about indie games at all, but something I honestly could like see happening is that there are a lot of talks of
Silksong,
not Silksong, maybe, but not Silksong. There, like the Deltarune community is very much currently waiting on the next chapter to happen. The creator has said that it is very, very near completion a while now. I could definitely see Deltarune Chapter 3, maybe 4, shown in that direct, and like I could see that happening.
It's just not a visually impressive game to show for your new console, I think.
It's not an impressive game, but it is a massive indie game. Like,
yeah, for indie for indie games it's kind of hard to show like a huge technological like showcase, but I think having like a big game that would just get a lot of people hyped, that's still really big, you know.
It's also not any indie game's job to be like technologically impressive, I think.
Well, yeah, which is why I don't think really any indie games will be shown.
Yeah, but it could be.
Were there indie games in the Switch 1 presentation? There was a couple, right?
Because, sorry, what?
I don't remember.
There were indie games in the Switch 1 presentation, right? In January, there was like a couple, I think, right?
Yes, I think so, because one of the story campaign expansions for Shovel Knight launched early on Switch. The Spectre of Torment, and if you played that, was exclusive to Switch for a while, and that was I think also shown in the presentation for that reason.
Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember something like that, so yeah.
Because Shovel Knight was one of the 5 games on Switch at launch.
All right. Do we have any other third-party predictions, things we want to say? Because I got one last topic I forgot to mention. It's pretty quick.
Silent Hill 2 remake. I'd love to see like on the Switch 2. That'd be nice.
That's possible.
Or any of the Silent Hill remakes, like 4.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't. I mean, they only remade 2 so far. But
wait, I'm thinking of Resident Evil right now.
Oh right, okay. My bad. There's a new one. I forget what it is. Silent Hill F, because that's coming. That's coming out.
Yeah.
Was that the one that was like announced like a few weeks ago or something?
Yes.
Or was that something else?
Yes, like last week.
Okay, because I remember there was some Silent Hill like presentation a few days ago.
Yeah, that's fair. But that would be a nice one though.
Unless they talked privately, Nintendo and those guys, but that would probably be a bit too soon.
Who knows? We'll see. Hopefully though.
Do you guys think Wilds can run on Switch 2? It can't even run on PC, so.
Monster Hunter Wilds.
I mean, it runs good on PS5 though, right? Like I'm pretty sure
it does. It runs fine on PS5. It's just it's
like the PC version is just very poorly like optimized. That's what I heard. Yeah. Like you need like 60 different mods to make it run good on PC.
I know they have a great relationship with Nintendo, so maybe.
Yeah, I mean, didn't one of the other like Monster Hunter games come out exclusively on Switch for a while before it came? Yeah, Rise. Yeah. Rise. So I think it's possible, and I feel like Capcom knows that they'd make a lot of money if they put that on the Switch. So I think it's possible. Yeah.
They have a great connection.
Is Wilds on Steam Deck? That's the biggest thing. Is Wilds on Steam Deck?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. So then I feel like it's pretty likely then.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Hold on.
Oh, check. Yeah, you can check then. But the other topic that I was going to say, we forgot to mention, we didn't see it yet, but the Pro Controller. Do we think there's going to be a new Pro Controller, right?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And is there any, what are the hopes for it? Because for me, really, I just want a headphone jack on it so I can use a headset in docked mode.
I already love the Switch 1 Pro Controller so much. Like, it's perfect. I just want a better D-pad. That's it.
That's true. Yeah, the one on the current one is mushy.
Sorry, what?
What's up?
I hope they make first-party Joy-Cons with D-pads.
That'd be cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like if you're somebody who doesn't play like with the split Joy-Con mode at all, just having like special Joy-Cons that come with the D-pad that you put on once and just use that for handheld, like they should do that.
D-pad. Make a Joy-Con with the exact same D-pad as the Switch Lite.
Oh yeah, the Switch Lite does have a D-pad, right?
Yeah, because they don't detach.
Forgot about
so
that.
yeah.
Makes sense because the reason the Joy-Cons have buttons is so that you can use it sideways as buttons. That's like the whole point.
It's such a niche use.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, the Switch Pro controller is so good that they don't really need to change a lot. Like, I think a lot of people really like it.
The thing is that the Switch Pro controller can do everything the Joy-Cons can except the infrared. So if they make a Switch 2 Pro controller, do you think they would put mouse stuff on this somehow?
Did you see that one really stupid patent that came out? That I was gonna say, I hope they don't do that, but there was a really stupid patent where it was really like a Pro controller, but it detaches like into two separate pieces. And if they do that to have like mouse features, I'm gonna be really upset, dude.
If they do that, I'm just gonna stick to the Switch One.
That's probably what I'll do.
They kind of already have that for the Switch One with the Hori one.
Yeah, but that's not
really
first party, right?
But like this would be like the Nintendo like first party official Pro controller for Switch 2.
I really hope.
I wouldn't really like that though. I hope then they have like a special like just hardcore one that doesn't do that then if that's the case.
No, they need to have one in one piece for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember the patent because there was like an image like vividly of like the it's like a standard controller, but then it detaches into two halves.
Yep.
And it's like I don't want that to be the Switch 2 Pro controller, but you know.
I'm like 90% sure the Switch 1 Pro controller will be usable on the Switch 2. So if they do that, I'm just gonna keep using that controller.
Yeah. I mean, it's already been rumored that your current Joy-Cons should be able to connect to the Switch 2 and everything. Also, it should work. No reason why I shouldn't be able to.
Speaking of controllers, did you guys hear about the recent rumor of like that was like a recent Switch 2 GameCube controller rumor? Did you guys hear about that?
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention that in the NSO thing. Like, do we think NSO could get like GameCube on Switch 2 or something? GameCube games?
Maybe.
I've always thought they're not gonna do it.
Yeah, I don't think GameCube games will ever come to Switch like backwards, like with Virtual Console, because what they've done so far for GameCube games on Switch is they all just do remasters and remakes. Pikmin 1, Pikmin 2, Metroid Prime, Thousand Year Door, like all of those.
Yeah, but there's so many. Like there's such a huge library that I feel like you can't remaster all of them. Like I don't know.
No, but they also don't bring over all games on NSO. Like,
that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
Like,
It'll be interesting to see.
I think that, yeah, N64, they're not gonna go past that because it's like you said, if they're gonna do it, they're gonna remake the game or they're just gonna make a simple port.
In my opinion,
and say,
it's fair.
Pay $60 for it.
In my opinion, it's completely fair to do remasters of GameCube games instead of Virtual Console stuff. I think that's completely fair. Like 64 games as like an online bonus for Expansion Pass, perfectly fine. You can remake 64 games, but a lot of them haven't aged very well. GameCube games have aged a lot better, so just remaking those is a lot better.
Yeah, but you're never gonna get Melee HD if it's not gonna be like.
I don't give a fuck about Melee HD, bro. We got hope.
Nah.
That would be
like one of the dumbest wishes ever. It's not happening.
That would be kind of insane though.
Melee.
Yeah.
You want Melee without L canceling and wave dashing, because that's what it'll be.
Yeah, they'd probably patch it like with the NSO version, honestly. Like people would be so pissed if they did that, but yeah.
Melee HD is never happening. I think it's one of the dumbest wishes on the planet, bro. It's like, come on, be real. If it's happening, it's not gonna be Melee.
It's a very small minority of people asking for it. It's just like the really competitive players, you know. So
it's stupid.
Yeah.
Well, they're the ones that are gonna get screwed the hardest because they're not
online.
gonna get what they want.
All right. Well, any other last minute predictions? Anything we forgot to talk about? I think we covered everything at this point. But if anything you want to say, last opportunity. I think otherwise.
I want pink Joy-Cons. That's what I want.
Pink Joy-Cons?
I think it would be really cool if the Switch, you could put it into some sort of like plugged in brick thing and then it could go onto the TV so it's not just a handheld. I think that would be an incredible gimmick for the Switch.
You mean like a dock?
What do you mean? Wait, I'm not getting
like
it.
a dock. A dock's a good name. We should do that.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, there was a rumor actually, now that you mentioned that there was like gonna be some type of wireless like casting from like your Switch to like the TV, because like the dock was gonna have some type of like computing to like let you like wirelessly like be able to do that, and people thought it was gonna be for like DS NSO games, like you could have like top screen on your TV, bottom screen on your gamepad, or like on your handheld.
Sounds awkward as hell.
But I don't know. I don't know if that would happen.
I'm good.
Give every Wii U port its gamepad functionality back.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it would happen, but I just remember reading rumors about it. But yeah, I mean, either way, all of our questions will be answered in just a few days. Because, you know, this is going to be, I'm telling you, I genuinely think this is probably going to be one of the biggest Nintendo Directs probably of the entire Switch 2 era, I think. Because if we just like use the original like Switch one as like kind of a way to kind of guess at like what's probably going to be there, like all of us are probably going to get the Switch one because we're big Nintendo fans. We need it for the content for the YouTube and stuff. But like this is their way. This is what they have to convince like the casual player to be like, you know, this is why you need a Switch 2 if you've got a Switch 1 right now. And like they had a lot of big announcements in that original like Switch presentation. So I think at least 5 to 6 big banger announcements are probably going to be in this. I think it'll be pretty big.
Also worth noting that Nintendo has nothing currently announced except Prime 4, right? So they're probably sitting on a lot of stuff.
Xenoblade just came out. That was the last game that we knew for Switch 1. Now the Switch 1 has nothing except Pokemon Legends ZA and Metroid Prime 4. Like you got to have something for the rest of the year. Yeah.
One other thing
Sonic Cross Worlds Racing, don't forget, coming to Switch.
One thing that I just want to mention to anyone watching is like that day, be logged into your Nintendo account on your browser, on your phone, like be ready for pre-orders to go
it's
up.
Possible that the pre-orders could drop because like I remember they did drop like fairly shortly after like the original Switch presentation, and so I don't know how Nintendo's going to do it. They could try to announce like a time because with the OLED model they announced a time.
You have to be logged in with your Nintendo account to do it, and obviously like the Targets and Walmarts, Amazon, you don't need an account. Like you can just go and buy it, but like to buy it directly through Nintendo, they've done it where you have to have an account. So you'll have a better chance to buy it through Nintendo if they do that. Because
I'll probably buy it from a store anyway, because Nintendo shipping here, at least for me, sucks. Like I never get it day one if I order from Nintendo's website. So
I order everything from a super not well-known Dutch company. I get everything a day early and without any issues.
That's,
so I'm good.
That's the best.
Nintendo will prioritize selling to people with accounts because they don't want scalpers scalping, even though it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But if by selling it to people with accounts, they have people that will be buying software, and Nintendo cares about that a lot.
That's true.
What was the rumored production numbers? They came out with, they said how many they made, right?
Yeah, there is a rumor that apparently there's going to be a lot more stock available. I think they said like 8 to 9 million day one. That would be insane if they had that many available.
I remember, I think the president Furukawa of Nintendo said that they are over preparing for the Switch 2 launch to prevent scalpers. And
I really hope that's the case.
They're not worried about not selling their stock because they know the Switch 2 will be like successful. And if it does like somehow sell even more than what they produce, they can just quickly produce more. So
I think this is probably, I think if they have enough stock to meet how many people want a Switch 2 day one, this could genuinely be like one of the biggest launches in video game history, like easily. With a new Mario Kart game, and you've got like a whole new system, like people have been asking for a new Nintendo hardware for like the last 5 years. I think like if they have enough so that anybody who wants a Switch 2 day one, if you can just walk into your store, see a couple on the shelf, or it's easy to order one online, we could be looking at like crazy numbers for how much this system is going to sell. It might be insane.
I just want scalpers to suffer, bro. Just get no
That's true. Yeah.
It's going to sell out, and they're going to be hard to get no matter how many they make.
Yeah, that's always the sad reality. Is like they always have selling out at some point.
Unless you can buy it from a nothing company.
I mean, I pre-ordered mine and I got it day one, but I remember like the day that it came out, it was impossible to get it, and then they didn't have another big shipment of Switch units until like I think Mario Kart came out like a month after, so you had to wait a while. So yeah.
I remember I pre-ordered mine and I went to... No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I didn't have an issue getting the Switch. It was that Zelda Master Edition that I couldn't get. That thing was gone with like
the Breath of the Wild one, like the one that came with the Master Sword figurine and stuff. I didn't even get that, but that's crazy.
And I'm thinking they're probably gonna do something like that. Maybe not Zelda, but I don't know. Hopefully not Metroid, because if I don't get it, I'm gonna be so sad. But
I couldn't get the Zelda one. I was so sad.
I know, it was so cool. It had the sword and everything, and I never got it. And it was ridiculously expensive too at the time.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I didn't get it.
I was ready to spend the money. I just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
Damn. Same.
All right. Well, gentlemen, it's been very fun talking with all of you. I think it has been a very good discussion, and I think we pretty much hit the nail on everything in terms of hardware, this presentation itself, the games. Either way, we're all going to be watching this presentation. It's going to be very exciting, and I'm very excited to see what Nintendo's going to have. And I think this is probably going to be a really good generation. It's going to be very, very exciting. And I think we're all ready for just new Nintendo hardware. Like, it's been so long since we've had the Switch, and everything carries over. So at least we're not saying goodbye to it. It's like we're still gonna have all our games and everything, and more and better. So it's gonna be great. Hopefully it'll be really, really good. And I think it will be. I think there's a really good chance that it might even be better than like that 2017 presentation. And I feel like that's the one that people still say is like the best Nintendo presentation of all time. I think this has a chance of beating it. So. Should be very exciting. But yeah.
The IRL vibe though.
Very high. I've been waiting a long time.
Yeah, the IRL did have a lot of like fun to it because like they came up on stage and showed some cool stuff. But
do you remember that?
Yeah.
Sweaty nervous translator from the 2017 one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
I remember when like Suda51 came on stage, he was like saying something and then he couldn't like translate it because he was saying something else and it was like mistranslated. But it was a crazy time.
There was a guy that yelled and he got cut off. His mic got cut off mid-yell.
Yeah, that was Suda51. Yeah. Yeah, he just came on. Yeah.
But that's the fun of doing a live broadcast. That's the
Yeah.
Yep, you get to see all those fun people. Yeah.
So no, the Switch 2 Direct will not be better than that one because it's not gonna have moments like that.
That is one way to look at it. But yeah, all right. Well, with that, guys, I'm gonna let all of you guys tell the audience where you guys can be found, because all of you have YouTube channels that I will of course be linking into the description. Definitely go check out all these people. They make much better content than I do, and you will see a lot of amazing stuff from Smash Bros content with P Jiggles, and then Ruffles got Pokemon stuff, and then Snug's got a lot of amazing video game essays and stuff. Definitely check out all of these people. But yeah, you guys can plug in all your socials and stuff. I guess we can go kind of in order here. So I guess Jake, you can go first.
You guys can find me, Jake Randall, on Twitter, X, and YouTube.
All
right. You can find me on Twitter at RealMasterLuke and on YouTube at MasterLuke. There you go.
My next, the order is weird.
Yeah, you're good.
You can find me at PJiggles on YouTube. I recently made a video talking about the Switch 2 and Smash specifically. That's related.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Ruffle Rallets, all things Pokemon.
If you go to your nearest bakery, go out the back, look in the rubbish bin or the trash can, you guys would call it. There you'll find me feasting on the scraps.
I'll link his stuff in the description. You guys can check him out. Snugboy makes a lot of awesome content.
I own a bakery, so I'll check.
Bro, you better check. I'm getting your scraps, bro. They've been delicious.
All right, well, thank you guys all so much for joining me. Switch 2 right around the corner. It should be very exciting. I really appreciate all of you guys for coming, and yeah, hopefully we can do something like this some other time because I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys did as well. And yeah. All right, I'll see you guys all. We'll see you guys all post Nintendo Switch 2 era, all right? After this Direct, it'll be awesome. All right, see you everyone.